Thank you. Welcome, Litchfield, to the Economic Development Committee meeting for Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. We're going to call the meeting to order. It's at 6:37 p.m. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Why don't we just go around the room again, just in case somebody's new joining with the public? And why don't we start over here this time? If you could introduce yourself.
Laura Gandia, Chair of the Zoning Board.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Diane Plinsky, Secretary of the Conservation Commission.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectman's Rep.
Peter Plansky, School Board.
Jeremy Robitaille, Planning Board member.
Peter Ames, Chair of the Recreation Commission.
Great. Nice to see everybody again. It's been a month. You believe that? All right. Well, we have two items tonight. The first one is the approval of the minutes for October 25th, 2023. I have a couple of changes I would like to make to that, and they're not big, but I want to make some changes. So I don't know if anybody else has any changes they would like to make.
I went through the Word document and I did make several changes.
Okay, so we have to go over those together, right? Can we postpone this till the next meeting? Would that be all right if we all bring in changes?
Fine with it.
Okay, because we did a lot last week, and I want to make sure everybody feels everything that they said was in there. All right. I really just saw like a comma, and it would look like a period, and it changes the meaning. I just want to make sure it's a subtle, but it's a big subtle difference on a reader looking at it. So we're okay. Do we need a motion to?
Make a motion to table.
Okay, table the minutes till, I'm not sure when our next meeting is.
December.
Actually, when you want to do it next?
Our next meeting, right? The next scheduled
Around
meeting.
Christmas.
Yeah, so I think
The
if
27th.
we're gonna change that
I didn't look up the date.
to incorporate not Wednesday because of Mr. Mankara.
So-
We might wanna
Oh, okay, so that's
discuss
another
it.
discussion.
Postpone
Oh, so we'll add
till
that to the
next
agenda in a
TBD
minute.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be, we can add that as a discussion item in a moment. I just found out about that. So right now, we're going to make a motion to shelve the minutes until our next meeting, which we're going to discuss the date
Yes.
coming up.
Yep. I second the motion.
So, okay, so who was first?
Jeremy.
Who was second?
Peter was first,
All
I
right,
was second.
great. So our minute taker would know. All right, is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, public input usually doesn't start for another 5 minutes, so we can hold off on that till 6:45. Okay, does anybody have anything they'd like to add to tonight's agenda? It sounds like Mr. Mankara might be an issue with his schedule, right? Does anybody want to add that to our agenda he may be having a hard time getting here on Wednesdays, so
Yeah,
we'd
we
have
can
to look at
discuss.
schedules.
Our biggest problem was trying to find a date to have this room available.
Right, so we'll have a
before.
discussion on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to add that to,
Well, the CIP group stops meeting now until April, so that slot's open.
Oh, that'd be good.
Except for
not
one night.
December, yeah.
December 4th,
December
or
isn't open.
December's not open.
another meeting slipped in there for Energy Commission. But we can have that discussion, so is it all right to add that as an agenda item? All right, so we'll talk about an alternate time for the next maybe 3 months, you believe,
Right.
3 months? Okay. Is everyone all right if I actually do that now before we do our last item 3, which is the actual, talking about the survey and how we want to go that, because that might be a long discussion, right?
Sure.
Okay, so why don't we do second business, discussing, everybody get their calendars out and see if we can have an alternate day. 2 issues, 1, finding a room, and 3, 1 is finding a room, and the second item is, do we have a cable crew available? Because I think we only have 2 crews available, even though we have 3 rooms, right? So let's take a look at schedules for folks. And everybody's on a different committee here, right? We're all meeting at different nights, right? So
But the CIP met, what day?
we
does
usually meet
CIP
like the first Monday of the month. So we did book December 4th.
Well, that would be better. We could just skip December, just do first thing in January for us.
Well, yeah, I
That'd be a
guess.
minor change for
As
us.
long as we make sure if we do that, it's 2 months, and I understand it's the
That's New
holidays.
Year's. That's New Year's.
That's the problem, it's right in New Year's, right?
But we'll make sure if we do leave we have work to do with surveys and
Yeah.
stuff, since it's gonna be a
Oh, yeah,
big
yeah.
stretch, right? All right, so let's get the calendar out. Let me get the town calendar out. That's really says the rooms, right?
Yep.
litchfieldnh.gov. All right. Sharon not here. All right, so let's forget. I'm in December now. Fridays are looking good. just
Yeah,
opening
right.
it up.
Date night.
Date night. So here's if anybody.
What is
else
that now? What is date night?
Date night.
Friday
night's a
nights.
date night.
You have time for those? I wish.
Your kids are gonna get older too, Ian.
I hope so.
More time.
All right.
All right, so zoning board. Nobody here is on. Oh, you're zoning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So we have zoning. We have planning. We have conservation and school, right? What's this board here, the 21st? Oh, that's us. That we're filling that in for something. Okay, yeah. All
Friday would
right.
be pretty good. It's
Because
wide
we
open.
couldn't come in on Christmas, so we're loaded up on the 21st for that, right? We don't want to come in on
Do we
Christmas.
know Jay's availability?
Hmm?
Do we know Jay's availability?
We know he's not available
On
on
Wednesday.
Tuesdays, and now Wednesdays are an issue.
So should we look at a
Um,
Thursday then?
Thursday's budget.
Thursday looks full.
Yeah, Thursday's pretty
Conservation, the
bad.
first Thursday.
Well, the only reason the 21st is taken up is because we stuffed our meeting in there that would have been on Christmas, so how's the third week of Thursdays look? I don't know. Let's take a look. Yeah, and NRPC is definitely busy on Wednesday night, so let's see. How's the next, it looks like the third
18th.
Thursday of the month?
Yeah.
Is that a pattern? Third Thursday of the month?
21st of December?
The 18th is free.
Except for December, because yeah, but it looks like, if I'm going through this.
Yeah, the third
Yeah.
Thursday looks pretty good.
That looks really good.
Let me just check the personal calendar.
That's shocking.
The town one, let's just take a look.
Which one? Are you in January or December?
January.
I went to
'cause
January, February, and March. The third Thursday looks pretty
If
good.
it works for Jay, right? Let's see. How's people's personal calendars look for third Thursdays?
Looks good. December.
What's going on with that? That's the board of selectmen.
I look good for January and February.
So January would be the 18th. How's everyone
Yeah.
look on the 18th?
March the 21st, I'm good that day.
And what's February's day?
The 15th.
February the 15th?
So it really is whether Jay can meet, right? We have to just check with Jay.
Mhm.
So we are believing it can be the third, because we still have to coordinate with John Brunel for cable.
And the 15th of
15th,
February.
we may be
So
a
the
little
third.
late.
Okay.
Which one? What day?
The 15th of February.
Oh, that's Valentine's Day. We're
No,
really.
14th.
Close.
All right.
Which will be
What do
celebrated
you
on
want
the
to do for
16th.
what do you want to do
Let's
for
get that on the
December though?
Let's see. December.
I don't think I know about
December
The
is
third
just.
Thursday's toast in December,
Yeah.
but
we
the
did
fourth
that.
has an open slot. But you won't be able to go to that one.
Which one? December 4th? Let me go to December.
No,
I'm in
the
Jan-
fourth Thursday, but you won't be able to come to this.
Who can't come on the 28th? Well, we already have
On the
2 rooms
28th?
taken up unless we go to the fire station.
December 28th.
I'm saying the 21st.
Oh, 21st is the Board of
Yeah, the
Selectmen.
21st is taken.
And
Right.
Kim Kleiner will also be at that.
December 28th is kind of crazy.
It's this Greater Nashua one.
I mean,
Okay,
we can
that's
cancel the
another day.
28th.
Yeah, can I see that?
28th is after the madness, though.
9 to
Oh,
11.
yeah, that's all right.
So the 28th looks open, because that's a 9 AM meeting, and then there's one at 7 PM, budget.
To me,
Now, Unless people
5:30.
go away on Christmas, they may, I don't know.
So
What's
budget's
this
in
one?
here at 7, where else could we go? Fire station?
Fire station.
Well, we're already, am I, okay,
We're
I'm
already
going to somebody,
scheduled the
what's December 20?
27th.
Look at the 27th, we're already there, right?
Right, we are.
We're already on the December 27th. I have no idea why. See it? Do you see it on our
Because
cover?
we're
Because that
doing
was
the last
Wednesday, the
Wednesday
27th.
Yeah.
of every month.
So last Wednesday.
Am I in the wrong thing? It says December, right?
Yeah, you
December
remember.
27th.
Is a Wednesday.
So we already have a room, so we're already settled it. We already.
But Jay
Yes,
can't be
'cause
here.
that was the
Jay
Oh, I'm
definitely won't
sorry.
make it.
Yes, it's been too many. It's a blur. Sorry, guys. Yes, right. Sorry. I
So we'll
apologize for
stick
that.
with the 27th.
So you want
in
it, you're saying we
December?
can go without Jay for December? On the 27th? That's our backup, maybe? We already have it reserved, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, what do we do? Oh, December is the next month.
It's
huh?
Christmas,
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy, but yeah.
Can we reserve both for now, and then if Jay can't do Thursday, we just stick with on Wednesday and drop
See the
Thursday?
meetings that are happening. Zoning is okay.
I can. That's
I mean, Christmas is on what day? Monday? And people like to relax on Tuesday, but that's recreation. They may want to have their meeting, I don't know. We would be on that 27th, right? But no Jay would be there.
Right.
All right. 28th is a possibility on a Thursday,
If Jay can make it.
if he can make it.
I'll put it in for the fire station and
All right, December.
check with Jay.
And you always send us a nice invite to accept, which is nice because it updates the calendar for us, right? So,
Can you ask him about the third Thursdays going forward too?
Yes, I
Yeah, okay.
all right. All right, so I appreciate that. So we all have to, I just want to, in my own personal one, it'd be December, let me just get back to January. It'd be January 18th, February 15th or something, 15th, and March, if we're into March, we're into March 21st. Okay. All right, so we'll wait to hear from Mr. Mankara, if he can join us.
Are we
I
gonna
don't
move
know
to
if he has a
7
backup
o'clock, or
person that can do this.
we gonna stay at 6:30 on Thursday if we do
Want to do
Thursday?
6:30? Does that work for everybody's schedule? It's a good question, yeah.
Okay.
6:30?
I almost came tonight at 7, so.
And I don't know if Jay has a backup person that can attend him. I don't know.
I
They're
can ask if he can
really,
make it.
I know they're stretched. They have a small staff. And then to bring somebody up to speed, yeah. All right, so, good. All right, let's close all these out. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to shelve the minutes. All right, so next, item 3, business item 3, discuss the next step for community outreach survey. It has A, B, and C, materials that'll be needed, develop flyers and maps, sample questions, Survey Monkey is a potential to use, community conversations. So, I saw Mr. Mankara sent us an email, which had a lot of information in it. I downloaded all of them so I could expand them. Do you have a hard copy? Did you have a
Just
chance to look at them?
I didn't get it, so.
Oh, you didn't get it? Okay.
I just have the one that
Do-
had all the
I was
questions
gonna
on
say
it.
if we could hook it up there.
They did Amherst.
Okay.
So at our
me call that
PC,
up.
did Amherst.
There's
Actually, if I
other ones, like,
downloaded it, I have it.
Jeremy put one in at the last one, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah, that's on the portal.
Let me go to my downloads.
As is Plastow, and then
Is
Wyndham did a
Wyndham.
nice one,
is this
which is
passed out? Can I
done,
peek at it?
which is done by,
Thank you.
a consultant.
Do we want to put it up there, or kind of hard to, I know sometimes that's, do we want to stick it up there for people to see? Would you like that, if it's up on the screen instead? Oh, so Laura's gonna have to, come on this side. Do you want to sit here, so you can?
My head, like.
Well, at least you'll see the,
sit there?
I guess I sit there.
yeah, sit anywhere. The brochure, they did a good job on brochures, right? They had the brochure, they had a little pamphlet.
I'm gonna go over there.
Squish a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
this way.
that's all.
I'm not
Keeping you two separated.
squinting. and-
Somebody asked it. Nice, not date night, okay?
This is our.
Apparently not.
This is our
This is
date night
date
this week.
You guys are hot and heavy over there.
Litchfield,
Wow.
I think we're going to Romano's
volunteer.
after.
Good for you.
It would be a meeting.
It would be economic development related.
There we go.
It would be developing Romanos.
All right, so I downloaded them, but they're not in order, so.
This one's like real similar,
Which one is that?
the Plastow one. It seems like people have done a lot of the work for us.
If there's still any good ideas?
Thank you, Kim, I appreciate this. Someday I'm gonna get in here and learn how to use all this. All I can do to learn the way at home. 3 clickers. All right. Let me,
Which is the one you guys liked the most?
I preferred the Wyndham one the best myself.
Do we have a printout of that?
No, there's a link on the email from Kim. So-
Yep, I'll pull that up for you. And I downloaded them as well. But my download doesn't say the order Jay had. One of them was open-ended questions. Was that Wilton? Like 6 or 7 open-ended questions? But I'll call it up and look. There's Jay. Here he is. No sip.
Yes, it's 22nd. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, you just sent it today, right?
He sent to Amherst
Was it yesterday or today?
yesterday, I think.
So today. There it is. It's right there.
might be faster if I just try to. Why is this not?
Used.
Can I do it?
There they are. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the portal as well.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
we
looking
had
for
an
the Wyndham
issue.
one.
It depends.
Oh, it was a
if you-
link at the bottom. It was one of these.
If you
In the
have a
book?
Yeah.
Chromebook or,
I believe. I see Hudson, Hollis. Maybe I'm wrong.
no, that one's not
Oh, yeah, Wyndham is
working.
the first link.
So I don't know why. The other night we had this issue too.
I think one of them had a, I don't know if it was Wyndham or Wilton. Had a nice, oh yeah, it was Wilton.
Oh, it was?
I've had
Yeah.
like this,
Like you were halfway in and it was
like,
like working.
sun, the beginning of.
Hmm.
Just go away. Yeah, it's not making me miserable. I thought it was,
Not a lot of response to it, though.
Wilton's more,
gone now. Should be.
you know, as far as locals, they have more business, but
Could be good.
No signal.
Wyndham had one that looked, it was a very small survey, open-ended, which is tough to tally, but you come up with some good ideas.
But only 305
No,
respondents, right?
Mine are in my head. You see? That's good.
There you go. You got it.
nice.
I don't like it. I like parts of it.
Oh, yes, thank you. I can really plug those cords in.
I like the
There we
idea
go.
of something like this, but
What do we want to look at here, people? Where are we going with this?
Do we want to look at the biggest one first, which was Amherst? Well, look, because Amherst had about 1, 2, 3, oh, we had a Plastow.
Here's Amherst.
Amherst
Load
had
up.
7 pages.
get rid of things like
Okay, can everyone read that now?
gas station content. We already have it here, so. We already have an ice cream stand. Ice cream, industrial.
Yeah, I don't know about this community facility survey about Litchfield, but we did the community master plan.
Mhm.
We did a survey for that. This doesn't look like that. Is that, oh. This is about buildings, different survey.
Yeah, I kind of perused all the ones that Kim sent over and then Jay's stuff a little bit today.
I'll kick you.
I kind of felt a combination of simple yes, no, or check the most adequate thing, and some commentary would be required. So when I built the very, very rough one I sent you guys, my build-out questions were to kind of get people's input if there wasn't a clear-cut option, right? You get a yeah or nay. But then also to drive who's responding to this question, right? So it's obviously gonna be all anonymous, but get an idea of, have you been in town, are you new in town?
Right.
Have you been in town for a while? We can see how their answer impacts what they feel about the town, you know?
So you want some demographics in there.
Just to get an idea of, you
Age,
know,
but
where they're coming
time and-
from, right?
yeah,
If you've been here for 30 years,
I think
you've
Glasgow
seen
had that.
changes. You've been here for 1 year, you have no idea, really, you know what I mean? Your comment is still great, but we gotta see and have some balance as far as, you know, what we're taking in here, so.
Yeah, I was
Did Plastow have that in there?
One of them did, yeah, I think I'm
It
looking.
was just the questions, like
We
how
think
old,
it
I
was-
think.
How long have you been in town?
How long have you been in
Yeah,
town?
I thought it was in this one.
So the problem with that one I have though is,
First, first.
the year might be good to have, so I actually asked for what year did you move to town?
Right, what attracted you here?
You know what I mean? And then why did you come here?
Thing too. But there was another one that was actually, how long you've been in town with a range, 10 to year. 10
Where's
years.
your
Right.
connection?
I like how they did SWAT.
Yes, you see that one? Yeah, that was, yeah.
Like, oh, we did that. Do you want to just, because Amherst had a lot, they had, they had,
scroll through
they had a
this.
flyer, they had, you know, a brochure, and they had the, do you want to just do the Amherst one, just as the largest one?
Sure.
I mean, I read it, did anybody else have any feedback on it? I mean,
There were things I liked about it,
Yeah.
didn't like about it.
Mhm.
I liked the should we be seeking new business question, thought that was a good one. And I liked the list of things that are down here. I think we should omit some things that we already have, maybe like the gas stations coming in.
mhm.
What else? Some other, ice cream stand. I've already got one in town. Other than that, I like the idea of, and we probably have other ones that we want to put in there, but I like the idea of that two-part question.
I'm surprised it's only 18 questions, it just kept going on and on. Didn't it? And when I first read it, I just went, I'm done, you know, it was almost overloading, but I think you're right, if we take out what doesn't,
Right,
Match, right,
because that's the exact effect we don't want to have when we give this survey out, is people just not to do it,
right.
you know? Because,
I like the QR code, so that people can
That'd be
reply
very
on the
good, yep.
QR.
I like that
That's
map.
pretty easy.
that map was
yeah, the
nice.
map is very
Yeah,
nice.
I kind of like the map, but I would make a change where we sent out one that was color, so that we could say where our current zoning is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that people would know where we already have multifamily, where we already have economic,
Yep.
different kind of building.
Which
Current-
one is
current
that,
land
the
use
window?
map.
This is, no, we're still.
We're on-
Still on Amherst,
We're
but
on
they
that
have a
right there.
map on.
You're right there.
I have it on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, I liked that map, but I just would make that one change where people could already see where things
Yeah.
already are.
Or we could link the NRPC one that we got a few weeks ago, too.
Right,
That's a great map.
yeah. that-
So have a picture of it here, but it's gonna be kind of small, but then also have a link so you guys can see it in real-time sizing.
So Amherst, how many, I don't know how many people are in Amherst, we could find that out, but I know they are further west, they're closer to Mass, they kind of hover, they just go out west, right? They're not,
That is what's
they're
of us.
kind of a Massachusetts folks.
Mhm.
Obviously, because they're on 101, they have a lot more businesses, right?
Yes.
Which is maybe why this is here, but then they kind of look at their small community business as well, right? Their version of the center of town. Which is always a question here, where is our center of town? That always comes up.
We have a few.
That's what I mean.
So,
So do we want to go in line by line, or do we want to take this home and highlight what you don't like and what you do like, or what you want to, how you want to change it?
Laura's
How
got
do
a good question on
Yeah.
that. Do
Oh,
you
sorry.
want to have a?
oh, no, I just did, I
How's
thought
that
we were supposed to
going?
do our own questions, so.
Yeah, she did it.
No, you're ahead of us. That's great. Did you send it to everybody?
No.
Oh,
But
okay.
I made
She didn't
copies for
get, she didn't
everybody.
get the email either, so.
Yeah, I didn't,
You know, I wish I had more time. I would have, but I'm like, this is a workshop to me.
We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way.
I like it.
I like old-fashioned.
Take one and pass it along.
Get the red pencils.
I kind of would like to ask a question too about whether or not, what people are using. The people, are they going to Romano's, are they going to,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Litchfield Food Mart, are they using these different areas? What are they using, how often are they frequenting them? I went to Noel's Tree Farm and did yeah, and
Nice.
did an interview with them, and I went to Chick
Chick Farms,
Woodworking
yeah.
and did an interview with them, and then I followed up with them again last week.
Yeah, good.
So it's kind of good to get them out there. We have one other new business in town that I haven't visited yet, a consignment shop
Mhm.
where Heather's store used to be.
Right. Good.
She hasn't been there when I've gone, but asking if people are using are the ones that we have and
Mhm.
what else they want.
That's good. Do you want to go over this, Laura?
Oh, no, I just thought we had it.
Oh, okay, then I'll
No,
read
I
it
mean,
then.
we can go over it, it's just.
Or yours is very similar to mine.
Okay.
It's shocking when you see it.
What's the most important issue facing the town of Litchfield? Okay. Do you want to talk about each one, or do we want to just so the public, because they can't see, so I'm just trying to,
Yeah,
maybe.
Kim can add to the portal
there's a
later on.
paper
We can't
copy.
do it right now.
Okay, so what type of commercial development would you like to see in town? Where would you like to see commercial development in town? Do you want to see, there you go, the town develop a town center? Do you want to see more commercial development on CBH? Do you want to, Charles Bancroft Highway?
It's
Do
supposed to
you
be more
want to s-
residential.
Oh, residential, not commercial?
Well, the second one should be,
Oh,
Uh,
okay, commercial / residential, or
oh,
just
it should
residential?
just be residential.
Okay, so you want commercial or residential?
Right.
Okay, yep, and what attributes are the most important to you in the town of Litchfield? Yep. This is good. So if this did make it to Survey Monkey, and of course, we're gonna put everything together, right? We'll have a drop-down menu or something, right? 1 through 5, or maybe they only pick whatever you want, X's or ratings. I like it.
Yeah, I think in general, it's just going down the right track. You know, we should definitely fine tune this. We all
Right.
have stuff to support and
Right.
find our best strategy as far as how to supply this to the public in a clean, easy to digest manner.
So maybe we don't list all of the things that are up here. Maybe we just ask the question the way she did, so it's shorter. So that, what would you like to see?
Yeah, I'd probably say give a couple examples just so people have an idea versus people just
Yeah.
way out in left field and be like.
Right,
that-
because she's got it like.
Exactly, some kind of subcategories
But
to
then
choose
it's
from.
still only 5 lines.
Right.
So I'm struggling with that a bit because we're gonna have a major push here to get this out. Like, this is gonna be a kind of all hands, get it out. This is important. And certainly our charge is around the economic development piece. But I feel like from our previous conversations, we kind of got into the space of like, what's the culture of our town? What do folks want to be known for?
Yeah.
And that, kind of leads to some broader pieces, right? Which touches schools, recreation, these other things that certainly have a connection to our economic development goals, but it'd be interesting to hear what our priorities are on those things that can inform some other bodies of work that are occurring in town. Just because I'm thinking, like, this is our opportunity to get that feedback. Now, the downside is it would lengthen it, right? And so anytime you get towards anything that's over 5 minutes, that's kind of a drop-off point, I find. So I would just wonder if others, what they feel about that. Is this kind of something we want to engage a bit more deeply with the community?
I think it
This
starts
is-
the conversation, Peter. Honestly, that's like a really important question to me. It starts the question of what you want to do next.
Yeah, we could have 2 surveys, a summary and a detail one, right? We could, if people want to do both.
We could. I would suggest we use Survey Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Only because it's easy to gather statistical information off of Survey Monkey, download it into Excel, and you perform the functions. But
The other thing it will do is if you get to a question and you answer yes or no, it can branch to another set of questions, right?
Right.
You can do that as well.
Okay.
and
But I think culture is like where it starts. Because do you want to start building more?
I mean, I'll say that from the public that has come into town hall over the past few weeks, and the responses we've got, number one, the biggest issue.
What is number 1, this one here?
Taxes.
Absolutely.
Well, it's that time of
Well,
year.
just got their
Tax bills just went
tax
out,
bills
so-
and they're $1,000 more, so
But-
all of a sudden, yeah.
And it concerns me when there's individuals that are coming in that cannot make that, cannot be.
That's very
Um,
concerning. What are we able to do for those people?
Not much. Not much. That's state law. That's not we don't have jurisdiction over. that. So, but do
Ouch.
But do people realize the kind of correlation between the two?
Right.
The correlation between development and the tax base. And
Right, but on the flip side, there's a correlation between tax base and controlled spending, you know? So I think
Agreed.
you got both sides of the coin. Like, you know, promoting economic development, that's what people want, that will have an effect on the tax base. But on the opposite side, controlled spending and good fiscal management will help with the tax base too. So my concern is like with taxes, when we talk about taxes, people might be like, oh my goodness, I want, you know, to see the town built up because I just don't want to pay taxes. Not with the overall vision, like this is really the town that I want to live in. So I think that's a tricky thing to ascertain from a survey too.
so I think that was why the board had, Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, thought that some educational sessions were important to hold before we necessarily put out a survey to
Oh,
Is there a
gather
study
data.
on,
A
I know
vision.
that you've talked about housing and adding housing. Is there a study that we can look at that would show us whether or not building homes is actually profitable for a town?
We should be able to model that pretty easy if,
Bureau of Economic Development, state E BEA.
So we could take a look at that, because everything that I have read so far on building houses is that it's more expensive for a town than less expensive.
residential typically will be, yes.
There's different types of housing, so not all housing is residential.
right.
Right.
But in general, yeah. So
Litchfield,
it's-
single-family homes, yes, will increase our tax rate.
They'll increase our tax rate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of housing will decrease? I mean, like, could we put assisted
Which- well,
living in here?
I think everything is gonna increase the taxes, it's just how much.
Yes and no.
So,
So-
What do we put in for housing that isn't gonna drive up the overall cost for the town?
So,
Whether that be school or other services, within town.
and it depends on what you're talking about driving up a tax rate.
Right.
So if you have existing roads
Mhm.
that are already being plowed, right? One more house on that street isn't raising that.
One more won't, but the overall
But-
wear and tear will cause more effect on the same road. But on the same impact, if you add new roads, now you have more fire, more police, and new roads to maintain. So all this does play a part in how our tax base is broken up. My suggestion would be we do this in two parts. One, we have a general broad survey to see what people are feeling is impacting them. So they all say taxes. We can then break it down and show now educationally, this is what could happen if we do this or this or this. So then they can make a good idea to give back to us again in the mill survey as far as, okay, if A correlates to this, I don't want that. So I want to go this way instead. And then we can go ahead and support.
I think that people think that just because it's a house there and it's paying taxes, that
Right.
it's profitable. And everything that I've read and research that I've done shows that not to be true.
Correct.
Well, so,
Over 55 communities are a
right,
different
so,
subject. Those have been very profitable for the town. The services that they've used are minimal.
right, and so I think we wanna be careful with, the idea is to net, right? It's not,
I thought it's to improve.
that's right, but the idea is to find the sweet spot where the growth that the town has impacts the property taxes in a way that it lowers it for everyone, but the net is zero.
It creates
I mean,
no
you don't-
more burden for us.
Yeah,
Right.
creates no more burden, but you're not getting revenue.
Ideally.
Either. Your town
Ideally,
could-
correct.
Town can never get revenue from,
But it's
Right,
a good,
'cause
it's
still
a
gonna
good
pay the
question.
taxes that we vote to
Yes.
use. So that comes back to what Laura said too, is fiscally conservative spending as well.
But that's different than your vision of your town, and it's all related, but you did ask
It
a good
is.
question, because you did research on the homes, and some people think bringing businesses in doesn't help either, right? So,
No, but you guys
So
kind of
that's
changed
what
my
we have
mind
to
on
look at.
that one. And that's why I'm asking questions, because I'm a typical you know, I might be on conservation, but I'm a typical homeowner, typical resident in town as well, and don't know all the answers. Like you had said that our value went down. Well, we have 172 apartments coming in, 62 condos coming in, and now, I don't know
Just
how
in
many of those low income, or not low income, but low cost.
Lower cost,
prefab
pre-manufactured homes,
houses
yeah.
coming in as well. Will that increase the town value past the point where you said
So
it
once-
went down?
So once they are built and occupied, right, then yes, they'll increase the overall value of the town.
Okay, so we're in a better place for that. We know that's coming and will improve. They're all being built.
They're all being built, and so the overall burden, right, depending on how much it goes up for general budgeting, to speak to Laura's fiscal conservative part, the more that it goes up for the budgeting will be split over a larger tax base, right?
That will have needs that will create more taxes.
But they'll be paying in
Right,
too.
you'll have
Yeah,
More
no,
people
likely
paying in.
more kids in the school system, right, which is gonna drive up.
It
that-
possibly
that
could,
cost.
yes, yep.
possibly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's hope that,
But our numbers are lower than
the
they've been in the
lawsuit
last few years, so.
drives some
What-
change in the.
What lawsuit are you talking about?
Educational funding.
The
Oh, the
education-
Yeah,
okay.
educational
That was-
funding,
that was
that's
really
only a
good.
couple $1,000 more a year per kid.
That's a lot,
Yeah,
isn't it? I felt like it was
It's,
a lot.
it'll go from 4 to 7.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
That would help.
17 towns.
So the value of Bedford really ballooned, but they did a lot with malls. You can see what they
The
did.
commercial.
So the
Yeah.
commercial also added value as well, not just homes.
What about apartments? How are those taxed
The owner of the
of the
of the
apartments?
apartment
The overall
complex.
building, yeah.
So is it, I mean, is it the value of the building? Is it the amount of tenants? How are those taxes calculated?
So it's generally calculated by unit and the number of units and the square foot of the units, the, number of bedrooms of the units. So each unit is calculated at a
Based on
price
that
and then it's,
So those should be actually pretty good. They're 2 bedrooms. They attract less families.
they generally, commercial housing is more highly evaluated than residential.
Then residential house.
I'm just trying to understand what our resources could be.
Yeah, but the other density you can have too with that, the higher density you build at, the higher chance you have now for fire and police requirements.
Right? Those
You
are the
have
second
more
one.
height now too for fire and stuff like this, so there are trade-offs on anything we build. But the one thing we do have in town that's not infinite is the land. So
Right.
Right.
that's a finite fixture we have to deal with and work with inside.
Right,
So,
we only have so much.
exactly. So we have to use what we have left as best we can.
Looking at the Amherst one again, question 1, it's a little tough to digest, but I think we could modify it a little bit to be more palatable for people to answer. Because it's asking about the strengths, so people can rate what they think is good about their town right there. The next one is the barriers, is, well, what do you think is stopping that? So I think that's a good question as well. I don't like 5, but number 3 I like, because I think 3 is okay. We could add or take away things there. 4 is open-ended question. Those are good because you really do get some good information out of there. 5, I don't know if it's applicable to us because most people don't know about zoning and planning. Their eyes may glaze over on this one, but that's just my opinion. You know. So, but I like 1 through 4 already. I like 6 because you brought up the map, which is good, and it really says, do you want workforce housing, single-family, restaurants, cafe, that kind of thing, right? And we can add things. Parks are in there too, right? But that's office park, but maybe they want more parks. All right, do you want to, anyone want to comment, or?
I like everything.
I thought 4 was, just if you don't know about how they work, what's 7? Should the town be seeking new business? That's one right there.
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good
And
question.
if yes, what type? Yeah.
And then you have other, I love other. All right, what's number 8? What is your opinion, the most important general issues that must be addressed in Amherst over the next 5 years? Okay, so that's good, because you can try to see if things start to come into focus, right? So
there's a
what do they
lot
have
of
for answers in here?
It is, I think there's
It's
too
too
many
many.
answers.
Oh, it is, that's what I'm saying, we'll read it out.
But yeah, I mean,
So-
like for 8 and even 7, I think that's a lot.
I
for
think
people.
it's a lot.
7.
I
What's
like how
7?
you did yours better. They were grouped together, retail shops, warehouses.
Yeah, we don't have to have all
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Because again, we know we don't have some of the infrastructure to support that right now, some of the grocery.
Maybe we should be looking at
Well, we
stuff
had one at
that
one
we
point.
don't have.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have, we actually have a bakery in town too.
We do.
The long-term,
We have a bakery. We
Number
don't have a bed
9's
and
good.
breakfast. We don't have assisted living. I don't know where that fits in. I know it would probably require more ambulance services. I mean, we have a lot of over 55 communities.
well, we had our
Does-
fire
does it
chief in
add?
here. He said it was pretty neutral, right? He didn't say it added more ambulance calls. Oh,
Right, but
assisted living may.
Assisted living would be
May, but
different.
not
but I
the
think that would
55
be
has
a smaller piece of
not.
property.
They're gravy.
Which of the following, what's number 10?
Yeah, because assisted living's generally, they generally have a contracted ambulance service.
Probably.
Contract
Of their own,
with the
Yeah.
facility.
okay.
I wonder if we could talk to what's-her-face at All-American. How they do that.
I love that.
Yeah, that sounds like it probably would, although
Make the most sense.
I know Londonderry, so my mom was at an assisted living facility in Londonderry, and Londonderry replied, Tommy's kids replied to my mom. So you don't wanna put something in town that you can't manage with a part-time fire department and part-time ER.
Well, the ambulance service is farmed out to Hudson anyway,
Right.
Yeah,
currently.
but still, are they gonna want us if all of a sudden we have an assisted living facility that they have to?
I also don't know if we could
We have a
support that
con- we have
level
a
of
contract
sewer
with
also
they have.
for a building of that type.
I wonder how, would depend on this many units and how big, if we had to do a leach field or whatever.
Exactly, so I don't know how big we could fit and support with Litchfields, so.
That's getting close to 102. Number 10 was sort of nice, but it almost leads you that we want to do economic development. You know, it's like, if we were going to do economic development, what financial options would you like to use, you know?
And I wanna make sure we don't slant this towards
That's what I mean, I think that
any of
kind of.
that.
11 is big, I agree. It's, how would you want to promote economic growth? I'm not sure about the Pennachuck watershed question. We can look at that in a minute. Infrastructure, it seems like they might be in the same situation we are over in Amherst, without sewerage and
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Well, and
They don't have,
single
they don't have
road.
sewage and, they must have
They
sewage.
probably do.
Maybe on 101. Oh, maybe some of them are still well, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah,
How would you like
When you
to
get off
see it
101, it gets
evolve?
very rural in Amherst, so it's.
Is
Some of these questions
14
that
a
get
good
into the
question?
how to do it, I don't think
Exactly.
are relevant, right? That we can have the committees and bodies work on that. It's more, we want to know what, like, what
Right.
do you value? right?
Exactly, we just want general input right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking 10 or
Yeah.
15 questions, but these 20
I
questions
wouldn't,
are.
I wouldn't
Some
go
are
near,
good.
I wouldn't go near number 12.
I want, 14's okay. I like
Being
14.
handled
Pick
by-
5.
That's going,
What's 12?
being handled.
12 the Pennachuck then.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't know. We don't even say that word. Okay. But 14 may bring it up, you know, what do you, if you want to see your town evolve? Yeah.
Yeah, see, develop a sewer utility in the route, so they don't have it.
Okay, so they have an economic
See, I
corridor.
like question number 14. Keep the town as is, increase recreational opportunities,
Choose up to 5, we can say.
preserve open space. I think that gives developed communities septic. I like 14.
So 15, they have an economic corridor on 101 by the state. So the closest we have is 102, right?
And we don't own.
And I don't know if
Our-
that's
our
our
1 mile
economic
and
corridor.
1 mile, half a mile on 102.
That's what I mean. So I mean, we can, if we take out 101 and put 102.
Yeah, once, yeah.
Well, I don't think we need this. Well, we do need a left turning onto page, but that's another. All
I
right,
would
so.
love to see a light
okay.
there, and I wonder,
108 corridors. So they actually have like, in 101 and 101A, I got kind of confused myself, you know, it's got the ramp to get off there, but,
They have both.
so we don't have to worry about a lot when here, but the pedestrian maybe.
101 and 101A both.
16.
Yes,
So it's really easy
they're perpendicular.
when you see a slide like this, okay, so
Are you interested in serving?
adding pedestrian and bicycle facilities.
That's 101 because they get run over. I mean, I don't want
Right.
to say it that way, but I mean, they're walking.
But there's no way to do that
Not
without,
here, no. Not yet.
Right.
Coming.
Well,
that may-
grants,
may not
there's
apply.
grants, right?
Yeah,
Reggie was-
we applied for one.
We didn't get it,
Which one?
For
Which
for the
grant?
sidewalks.
sidewalk.
So.
No, Reggie said
yeah,
that he had part of a sidewalk as part of his,
He's required to put a sidewalk.
Yeah, on the north
Yeah,
part,
he
in the
is.
northern
He's
part
required
of
to.
town
He's
you
required
are.
by zoning.
okay.
Site plan or something, but he's.
So this brings up a
Because
good
he was
question on that
asking-
101.
You didn't come to the zoning
Where would
for
we
the
put
sidewalk.
economic development for businesses if it happened? Right now, the two,
South
north and south
We
is
have the north-
zoned
we
for
have
it.
the north and the south, right?
So that would be our economic corridor.
Charles Bancroft would be
Yeah,
there. Where else would you?
that's what I mean. We don't have any, I'm looking,
There's
and that's
nowhere
an
else?
old map, so
You wouldn't be able to fit the curb cuts or anything else really anywhere else in town besides those three major areas.
So the good question is, can we have economic development? I mean, unless you're promoting in-house businesses, working a draft or whatever.
The curb cut thing was.
The home occupation.
The curb cuts issue is a big issue on Charles Bancroft because the 1977,
It's a state.
yeah, it's a state road.
So if somebody says they want to build a mall, right? We have the
One
lower
curb
part
cut.
and up there. We can't have them all. We're
Ask the
gonna get a
guest,
curb
ask Renee.
cut. Bring that theater back. That probably was doing
Well, I'm
pretty
sure
well.
if they were to combine multiple lots, we'd be able to use multiple curb cuts in this case.
Right,
Once
they'd have
again,
to buy- they'd have to buy multiple parcels.
consecutive
Yeah.
lots,
Doesn't
exactly.
Milford still have?
And at that point, then they can
Milford
develop all the
still has
land
the
that
drive-in.
is
Is that economic?
developable in the area, so.
I think Milford
But-
still has the drive-in.
If they had multiple parcels
Wicked
Right,
and they only
Would you do
needed
that on conservation?
one actual cut, a wide cut,
Right.
having a road going in,
right,
the state's gonna allow that.
right. So there are ways around this stuff. We have to just
Right, I get that.
see what we can recommend that makes the most sense to actually get past the state with an approval, so.
So we had talked before that if we were gonna open new economic development, that one of the types is agritourism, that it would keep the agricultural, people coming in and out of town, spending their money in local places.
But state law supports that now. You don't need local law to help you on that.
State law is very supportive
Yeah,
of
so it's
agritourism,
good.
very supportive.
Yeah.
So that would be something that would go through zoning fairly easily, because it
It
would
may not even
change.
have to
Yeah,
go
might not
through.
have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
for
really?
Yep.
the state statutes that basically exempt certain agritourism from site plan regulations. So,
Question for you guys, like 16 here is directed, this survey to anybody apparently.
You
Do
live
we
or work
want to
here.
have that as an option for us or
What's
not so
16
much?
What's 16?
What do you mean, directed to anybody?
What's your connection to Amherst? So they're not
I think
requiring
we
you to
do.
live there.
I don't think so are you gonna tell a business owner that in Litchfield that they can't participate in the survey?
Well, you could,
I
but
wouldn't.
that could skew results,
But you
right?
ask where they
So they're
live.
not paying taxes in town if they only rent the building. So it's who do we want responses from? Anyone who has any connection to town in any way, or people that actually live in
Well,
town?
they're paying taxes because it's part of their rent.
Right,
But then, if you don't pay them directly, you don't pay taxes.
Most will probably check off live here, right?
I don't know.
Right, but the question is,
We
do
get a
we
lot
want to
of
let people
visits.
who maybe own a business but don't live here, or
Right.
people work at these businesses have some input?
I don't like the work here, I don't like visit, but owning a business here, I do think we could gain some good insight to what they feel as far as economic development. And I get it will skew the,
Correct, because
That-
they may want certain things because of they
Right.
strictly
They
own the
right,
business.
because
But
it,
does
They don't have to
that-
live in town also.
but I think that, sorry,
No, go ahead.
I think it provides a nice benefit.
Correct.
For insight purposes, but I think when we're reviewing the information, we need to be very mindful, well, all the business owners said
Right.
this, so when we're doing our data.
But it is important because
Compilation.
we can't keep businesses here if we don't make it comfortable for them to be here. There was a lot of discussion about the day after Thanksgiving with Noel's, because it blocked traffic. I've heard a lot of feedback on, at the Questons when the corn came out, that people couldn't get back and forth. So we need to hear from them what we can do to make it easier for them to do business. So I definitely think own a business here and live here.
Okay, so we think,
I think you need all of them.
Mhm.
The reason being is if it's up on the website,
Mhm.
it's public. It's not gonna know if that person that's responding lives here or not. So
Mhm.
you're better off to know, oh, they check visit here.
So we should make that a
we
required,
know
we should make that a
it's not
required
resident.
question then.
But
if we're
there's
gonna ask
no
that
way
question.
to, there's
Oh,
no way to
that's a good
stop
point.
the survey from going.
Going to other places.
Right, so we're
Anybody can take the
identifying
survey.
them.
To know that,
So, yeah, so in that case, that should become a required question. You have to answer that. You can't submit a survey.
right.
Yep.
Because that can
I
heavily
would,
skew results.
Because then you can just drill down on that selection as to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Well, Laura's questions is, the first three seem to be in here in some form. I haven't
Yeah.
finished with 4, 5, and 6 on our
Oh,
list.
you got it.
But, so what's the most important issue facing your town? They had that. Now, we can rearrange the order of these things too, right?
Absolutely.
What type of commercial development, if you want it, would you like to see? Right there, that's 2. When would you like to see, where would you like to see it? Okay. I think they had that. Where was, well, I didn't know about their, I don't know, did they actually have that, or are they focusing on
Where?
one-on-one?
They had the map there. I think they discussed.
I don't know if
Yeah,
that was
where you're
housing
from,
or,
where you wanna do
okay.
it.
Do you want to see more commercial development? Okay, so that can maybe be one of the selection on that question, right? Right, number 5 can fold into one of the other ones, right on the, okay. 6, do you want to see more residential development? Okay. So that can be in part of that question when they had all those options. We'll make sure those 2 are in there, right? What attributes are most important to the town? I don't know if they actually had one for that. Did they have something about their town? What was an attribute? I don't know if they did, so we could add that one in, right? Yeah? And you mentioned taxes. Does the word tax even in this one? I'm gonna do a search on it.
I also, I mean,
I don't
like
see the
that
word
too.
tax in here at
Town
all.
center thing. And
Oh,
not
tax
only
rate.
Yes, no, but where?
Yeah, number 1, they have tax revenue.
They have the tax rate in number 1. I'm just looking, oh, it's only in here 4 times. Number 1 has tax rate. That goes down to number 10. Tax relief, if you want to option somebody, something. All right. with
Have we done that for any businesses coming into town? I mean, did we do that for LKQ, or would that be an option, like when Barron's was trying to come in?
I don't think you have, I could look, but
I never heard it on the planning board. so-
no, and it would have to go through the board. Actually, you would have had to have passed a warrant article for it to even be done in the first place. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. It's a relatively, in the last 10 years, law that passed. So you would have had a warrant article within the last 10 years, giving the Board of Selectmen even the right to offer it.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
But if we get a lot of feedback, people saying they want to bring more commercial business in, we can then propose doing a warrant article
That's
for
one of the
this.
questions here. Do you want to
Give a business a
Number
tax
10.
incentive to come here.
If you go, number
Oh,
10
oh.
has that, I think, on it. If we go down to number 10.
10?
I think it's 10. Let me see. Tax relief is 10. Is that the first one?
Financial strategies is 10.
If you want to give them tax relief. And by relief,
They have tax increment financial districts, so.
well, that's a financial incentive. Okay, not a
Yeah.
district. I don't know if they had a financial district.
Well, that'd be, I know they're a southern, or we do
Yeah.
CBH,
Okay.
Is that we could develop a TIF district in
Correct.
town and put that somewhere. I don't think the majority of people even know what a TIF district is, so.
I don't think I do either. I've been on the board for years.
That's what this is.
But I've heard of financial districts.
Okay, I'm looking at it
Yeah.
as you're saying it.
A
going,
TIF
what
would
the
have to
hell?
go to warrant article.
Okay. What about who would come? Nobody's come yet.
No, but it's the education that it would require for it to be successful on a warrant article, because to a lot of people, they wouldn't know what that is to vote on it. So you'd have to do some education on it.
Question 10 would be a hard pass here.
They work.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not one.
But no
if we get
business.
people that respond back, they want more commercial in here, we can then do some analysis of possible outcomes of doing this and if a TIF would make sense, right? But if we don't get any feedback saying no one wants anyone to come to town, why waste our time doing it?
And like, I think 10
Lots
is,
of times.
Has a bank ever
Yeah,
came here
lots of
and
times
wanted
you'll
to
see a
come here?
TIF, if the developer can't get the density that he needs to make the project profitable.
Right.
Then you'll, lots of times, one of the ways you go is a TIF.
One of the zoning ordinances a long time ago, I know we've changed it, was we allowed certain things in the northern part of town, right? One of them was banks. Well, I don't know if anybody's ever come.
That was a warrant
for
article, I
bank.
think.
Has anybody ever applied? I have not seen one, but
But does it make sense? in Manchester.
Exactly.
They're in Hudson, they're in denser areas where they're gonna have more people drive by.
You have to think as a business owner, if I put a business owner hat on and I want to locate to Litchfield, am I going to be profitable? Regardless of the structure of the town and the permanent process, am I going to be profitable? What's the traffic count going to be? Who am I going to attract? There's a lot of issues, just putting, anything aside, just location wise, like.
Right, if you're a retail-oriented business or selling to the public directly, that is a concern.
So I was talking to.
If you're online retail, it doesn't really matter to you, but.
I was talking to McQuestion, about Wilson's store closing, an opportunity for them to really work on their stand. And we were talking about it for a while, and I was like, well, I'm getting more business because Wilson's isn't there. And she's like, no, because if we have more people going to Wilson's, they stop at us, they stop at Wilson's, they go to Boucher's, that, all the other farm stands. When we used to have farm stands that were all flowers, we would go up and down and shop every one. And now we go to our town for one, and then we might go out to Manchester for another. And all of a sudden, I'm eating lunch in Manchester because I'm not in Litchfield. So that whole discussion of the agricultural businesses could bring in enough that it would generate more people coming in that would utilize the consignment shops, tree farms, other things that are in
Restaurants.
town. The restaurants.
Yeah, the restaurants.
The restaurants, absolutely the restaurants.
Yeah, instead of making a trip to Litchfield, I'm just gonna go to Mel's or I'm gonna go to Noel's real quick. I'm actually gonna make a day of it and do a couple different things here.
Right.
Which would be it'd be my ultimate goal, essentially, to have people come here for more than 5 minutes.
Right,
Right.
Right.
to spend a couple hours on 3A.
Exactly, do a couple things.
And then I was talking to Wagon Wheels,
Say it again.
Yeah.
Jason from Wagon Wheels, and he's done a lot of the tree farms and a lot of the different places. And he said that every time he goes to one, people go get their tree and they leave. Whereas Noel's, when the Lemire's started it and how it's grown, has become a place that has fireworks. There's a place that has a petting zoo. They have Santa there. They have bonfires, so there's s'mores there and everything. So all of a sudden, people are staying at that one. So more opportunity for them to buy donuts, more opportunity for them to buy other things as well.
Absolutely.
Even
But-
there.
So it's kind of a destination spot, right, as is Mel's, but they're both seasonal,
Right.
right? So
Right.
we need to have something that will bring people to Litchfield that will then access the other businesses.
Right.
Or fill in our seasonal holes.
You just said something like, would you say stop for 5 minutes? What did you just say? Stay here more than 5 minutes?
Right, yeah, I think.
That could be a
Right.
nice little logo. Stay
We want them to
stay
stay
on
here a
Route
couple
3.
hours.
Stay on Route 3A for more than
Yeah,
5
yeah,
miles or
yeah.
5 minutes.
Stay. Yeah. Come and stay. I mean, Chick Woodworking is an adorable store. Man, it's got a lot of stuff in it, and that's going to be non-seasonal.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So yeah, you gotta go check it out. Gotta keep up with our local businesses, folks.
There are commercial properties that don't require people coming here.
Well, we have a couple of those as well. We have the
So, small
manufacturing
tea,
company.
yeah.
Yeah. We have
I mean,
small tea.
those
We have
are-
the place behind that's a wonderful resident. Wonderful business. We never see them. Who else have we got? Do we already have?
Edwards,
102.
the
We have
mechanic.
102.
Oh, 102.
Yeah,
We have
we have
Edwards,
102
right?
businesses that are, we have a bunch that are all.
Yeah, they're kind of clustered together on 102,
Clustered on
that's sort of a mini industrial park back there.
Yeah. But,
Map. So what's the state of the land on the south that, I don't want to bring up the circumventual highway, but that land all down there, is state still owns some of that?
Yes,
And they're going to keep it?
yes.
They're not going to give it back like they did to Hudson? Okay.
did we ask for it? We did.
We have
And it's privately owned, so the
Okay.
others, and that's fine.
Okay.
So that, what's available down there? Is
I
anything?
mean, some of that may change, some of that we believe people are watching what happens with the P word, pawn shop,
Yeah.
Right.
the word. So, and especially the new pump station.
Okay. So it looks like a lot of your stuff is in here, which is great.
Yeah, but
And
it's a
did we
lot more.
like,
I think NRPC did a great job on that one.
Did NRPC make this for
They
Amherst?
did, they did their study, yeah.
I wonder how much came back.
And they did
liked it.
those posters, and so that people could, it was a Survey Monkey, people could access it through the,
We have that, the broadcast thing too, where we can reach everybody. It's an emergency one, but they also do like school notices and stuff like that go out on it. Is this something we could put out on that, or would this be, no?
Is that an alert?
yeah, I think
That's an
she's,
alert,
I think
right?
she's talking about Code Red.
No, it's not code red, it's just information. We'll say that power's out in a certain area, or. Don't we have that? It
Dunno.
goes out to everybody's cell phones? I know that the
That's code
school
red.
has
I think
it.
it's-
I think that's Code Red, I think that's
The school has it too. It's a different one though.
Yeah, it's
The
a different
school-
one.
Yeah, the school will send out like messages about the play and stuff like that on theirs.
Yeah, I don't know what the school uses. We use
So
Code
your-
Red.
Your phone, they send
If
it
it
to you?
goes to your phone,
can
it's
do it
us, from us, it's Code Red.
Does that do anything for us, this aged picture? I can see how they're saying how they grew. Would that add by anything on our survey, just so
I
people
would say
see?
no.
I don't know.
So it's just more residential.
Well, I think it's just more of a distraction. I mean,
Okay.
the picture's not big enough to really see
Know what
much.
you're doing,
I mean,
yeah.
it looks more like.
But geared towards economic
Status
development, which the
didn't
survey is
change.
for, it does show that they have developed,
Just
Yeah, they've grown.
so.
Right,
Like that.
And we don't have like the town center that really
That-
show
that-
that
yeah.
change, right?
and so what we saw when remember when we looked at the data, because everyone was saying, well, there's been so much growth in Litchfield within the past 10 years, and we said, not really. So we did the numbers, and we looked at the numbers, and in fact, it wasn't in the past 10 years.
It was before that.
way before that.
And then in the
So-
past 10 years, it was probably over 55s, right?
Some
was it
over
before that?
55s and, you know, weather vane, there were a few Callaway Circle, right?
I think we're gonna really more than make up for that this year.
Well, it'll
not
take a
this
couple
year.
No,
years.
This
over the
year
next
you
3 to
won't
5.
make it.
Not in 2023, but in 2024, we will probably more than make up for that.
Yeah, it depends how fast it gets phased in.
Yeah.
So it's, you
It's all
know,
coming. Anything is gonna take time. This is already all in the works, all approved for the planning board. right?
yeah, my thought is it hits 2025 right in
Yeah.
time for your revaluation.
It's a dirty word to say in public.
It is a dirty word.
And Kim, for the survey, I mean, for my questions, I think maybe a particular focus on Charles Bancroft Highway is warranted instead of lumping it into all the other questions, because when I think of Litchfield, I think that's Litchfield, you know, Charles Bancroft Highway from top to bottom. So that's why I separated out my questions just for Charles Bancroft Highway. You know, so I don't know what folks think of that, but just having questions maybe directly pointed to the development on Charles Bancroft Highway. Because if you think of 102, I know it's Litchfield, I'm not thinking of that as Litchfield. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of a little bit more removed from what people think.
If you
of
blink too
when-
fast, you'll miss Litchfield on 102.
What's that?
Well, yeah.
Blink too fast, you'll miss
But-
Litchfield on 102.
But I think when you're thinking
Exactly.
of Litchfield, of what represents Litchfield, it's Charles Bancroft Highway.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's why really having pointed questions just on Charles Bancroft Highway, I think maybe.
Totally makes sense.
I think you're right, because that's where we're looking at, talking about changing zoning
Right.
anyway, right? And what Laura's saying is that we don't have to change zoning if we put agribusiness in those.
Agri-tainment can do it.
Say it again.
Agritourism.
But there's,
Agritourism,
Right,
and
just-
we're getting the
right, I mean,
farmer's
you gotta
market,
look at what they're
hopefully.
trying to do and
Right,
figure
well,
State
things
law.
out.
what if they're breweries?
and there's, but
Breweries
there's
not necessarily
so many,
agritourism.
you know, you
It's
could do
usually
farm to table
I
restaurants.
mean,
you can
there's a
do
certain definition of
It can be if they
breweries,
grow
you
hops.
can-
If they grow hops, it might work.
I was just saying that! Look at me working on
There
that.
you go. They grow their own pumpkins to put that in their TV. It might work, you know?
The state has its own definition of agritourism that you need to
Yeah.
look at and
Me
review
and
to
Jeremy
make
are
sure.
already got our, we're
We
working on
we can
it.
dig into this more.
Somebody will steal
All
our
right, so that might
harvest.
be, that might be something, I know, I had talked to another resident.
Let me just see
that I was
Wilton.
Kind
Yeah.
of talking about agritourism.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And he said that a lot of those, if you were thinking that a brewery would be part of that, that a lot of them are looking for already established,
Buildings,
yeah, like prefab, what's
pipe
the-
dreams,
Pipe dreams, yeah, that they already have. We only have like one.
not that we've
building.
been there. 'Cause we wouldn't go there.
Of course not.
Where?
Pipe dreams, drinking, we wouldn't be there drinking.
You'd have to drive afterwards, so absolutely not.
So, back to your picture question.
Yep.
Amherst between 2010 and 2020 increased over 500 in population.
Wow.
500%?
People.
500 people.
We won't do that next 5 years.
Litchfield
Oh, yes, we do.
increased
No.
200.
And how long?
This is all on the BEA website. They have a lot of fascinating data like this for everybody.
But how many, what
and-
was 200? The last 5 years,
So,
or?
yeah, we only went from 8271 to 8478, and this is going from 2010 to 2020. So about 200, where Amherst went up 500.
2.5 times that. Yeah.
550.
They
When-
have-
when
they
was
have a
this?
lot more, yeah.
They do, they're 101.
How many, what do they got for?
And they,
Yeah,
I don't care.
they are slotted to have another big jump between 2020 and 2022, where we're not even estimated to go up 100.
What is causing
Now,
the,
that's probably before the development.
what is causing the jump?
The 1, 2, 3, 4.
In the Amherst?
Yeah.
It was probably some of it is the development, they've put in some housing.
Probably ahead of us as far as building the new housing we have coming
Yeah.
our way soon.
So they've already had major development in the housing?
Yeah.
Because I hear people, now that they've widened the road near Bedford, you know how they made it multiple lanes? So, but the people who still live in Amherst who have to get this way are still in traffic. So, you know, you build it.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, they do.
Our Bedford
But
friends
overall, it's
complain
better
all
for them,
the time about
apparently,
that.
so.
But,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
and that road is the road that is the, you know, Amherst to Bedford is the road that has high fatalities and is slotted for state help
I hope so.
in the next coming years, next couple of years.
And we don't even have that kind of a road that they do. I mean, they have a 4-lane highway, we've got
It's,
one.
yeah.
And I mean, I think we have some restraints on our roadway system, just if you want to put a business on Charles Bancroft Highway. We have no, for offset improvements, we have no way to expand to accommodate additional traffic in some areas too, which I
But we
think is
don't
going to be
control the road.
problematic for us to.
We
Right,
don't control the road.
But
Right, and they don't want to change the road.
But even that being said, do we have any idea how much the right of way the state has on that road on CBH? Do you have any idea how wide they have each side of that road to develop if they had to?
So what's the question? How wide what?
The state must have a right of way on both sides of the road to.
I'm sure
Oh,
that
you
to
mean to
develop
go
it.
in?
I have no
I don't
idea what
know.
it is though for that road.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I'll look, though.
I know there's talk of when the apartments are finished over there by the horse farm, that they're gonna put a turning lane in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that was
But
a
that's
grant,
part of the
right?
10-year plan, I think.
It
Maybe
is.
it's a
Isn't that part
5-year
of your
plan.
grant? Didn't you get
Yeah.
a grant for that?
So far, it's still on track. We're trying to get it through the political process now.
You did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just gotta make sure the politicians don't remove it and put something else in, but so far it looks good. We got through the financial process, now we gotta go through the political process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, there's gonna be 2 turning lanes there and straighten out the intersection at 90-degree angles. And maybe they might put a light in as well. It was supposed to be $2 million and we don't have to pay anything. We don't even have to do the
That'd be
20%
very helpful
match.
because that is not a great blinking light
Yeah.
even now without any housing across the street.
We didn't even have to pay the 20% match.
It's really scary going out from Page to 102 though, as well. And if we're talking
Page, oh, yeah.
172 apartments that are gonna be coming in there.
Well,
They're not
so
gonna go on page,
so
though.
Cutler's being worked
No, but
on,
Page and 102.
but Page is not part of that at all.
No,
and
but we
it-
can't get out of Page.
But Page won't be part of that at all. So that's a whole different
No,
thing.
that's the other side of town, but different, in a different subject, different build. But what are we gonna do about that?
how much we can.
At 9 o'clock, at night, it's very easy to get out of Page.
You just
Yeah.
gotta take Kim's hours and work
So
Kim's hours.
we have traffic surveys for 102 in planning for that exact area, and
Yeah,
the numbers don't support doing much there.
really.
Yeah, the only reason Cutler's getting dealt with is because the angles are terrible, just like north. So,
Cutler is,
yeah.
Really?
When you have to do that left and go down the hill at the same
Correct.
time.
So that's all getting reworked.
I never take that one.
I'm like, do I go in
I
this
love
one or
color.
that one?
Take it.
I love color.
And the state
I
won't even
can't
look at
see
us for a
first
light
one.
unless it
Yeah.
meets those traffic
For
counts.
102, it's like not at all.
If you don't meet that traffic count.
But
the state doesn't.
I do think that,
We've had, how many accidents though?
so they
there?
developed the survey.
It's actually not
monkey
that bad.
survey. They developed
It's
the
not that bad.
poster.
No, they have that. They have those stats too. It's really not.
Just lost a fireman up there.
I think it's a good survey. I really. do.
Yeah, back to business.
So if you look at Wilton's though, they only have 6 questions and it's very basic, but I think they're embedded in this big one. And it's open-ended. Can you call up the one from Wilton? There's 2. One's called a development
this.
planning survey.
I don't see Wilton at all.
I don't know if you,
It's the
I had
first
it in
link
the
at the
email.
bottom of the portal.
Is that Wilton?
Wyndham or Wilton?
Wilton.
I don't see Wilton on here.
There's Wyndham.
Where's Wilton?
I don't see Wilton.
Oh,
I don't know if you put it in the portal. It was on.
I didn't have Wilton.
Christmas spirit.
Okay, so Wilton's just 6 questions. What are your strengths? With this, it's just open-ended. I thought it was simple, but then you're gonna be deciphering handwritten, that's not easily added. But I think most of the questions are in this more structured one anyway. Wyndham is also interesting. Do you want to look at Wyndham?
Yeah, Wyndham's I liked quite a bit.
Wyndham is.
But that's another big town. They have some major roadways there.
It didn't used to be though. They're only
Yeah.
big right now.
And then-
Last 10, 12 years tops.
Wyndham had anything.
Because they've been working.
And they almost
Somewhere
had.
on their thing, on their site, it says who they're working with. It's a Boston economic development consultant.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wyndham has 111 and an exit.
93.
Off of 93, exactly. Correct.
So maybe that's not really.
They were very close to having the whole Tuscan development at off exit 3.
Really?
Yes.
It has been here for a while now.
So
Plastow then. Let's take a look at
so. There's
Plastow.
their survey results.
How many people filled it out? That's pretty big numbers, or at least the
300
bars.
305
respondents,
responses.
that's not a lot.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's not even, I don't know what
Is there anything,
statistically what a representative sample
What do you
would
want
have
to
to
know,
be.
Kim?
what were they capturing? What kind of information were they?
So this
trying
one
to-
here, what type of economic development do you think would most benefit Wyndham? in this case? They want more
People want
restaurants, I guess.
restaurants.
Okay, what else did they want after that? Restaurants?
Professional,
The whole
professional and
southern New
business
Hampshire
services.
wants more restaurants.
Arts and-
They want arts and entertainment was a big one on that one.
Nice.
Then everything else is pretty much par for the course. Is all pretty even.
So it's mostly service, not light manufacturing.
Like,
No, no.
12% for light industrial.
Yeah,
Okay,
those very small.
More retail.
Yeah.
it's all service.
No
jobs,
auto
right?
sales.
No more auto sales.
Yeah.
Why did they say that? There's a lot of auto sales?
Yeah.
There's a lot
On
of,
28 and 111 is
there's a whole bunch of used car dealerships in a row there.
And repair places.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, mechanics, okay.
Or by Seal Lumber is a whole bunch of that stuff.
Restaurant, pub.
But they have everything they need in that
They're
town.
like a
They have the
playhouse.
stores,
Wyndham's,
yeah. Was there any other question they asked that?
Well, there's actually not
Might
much.
get-
Actually, in Wyndham, there's no supermarkets. Actually, no, Shaw's. There's one. There's Shaw's.
Yeah.
There's the one. There's Shaw's there. They have banks though. We don't have any banks at all.
There's that busy road though,
It is
that's a
111?
really
Is that
busy
28?
road.
Which road are you talking about?
111.
Which one? 28 or 111?
111?
111.
Yeah, 111 gets backed up pretty good during morning and evening.
Yeah.
But they have little, not strip malls, but they have little,
They're multi-strip mall type
They are,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
with restaurants in them, which I never saw before I came to New Hampshire.
is there any other like pieces of data?
The
that might have been-
Q2 is
What's that one looking at?
what kind of economic development should occur. So
What
where
they-
should it occur?
So what are they saying?
They said 28, which is the bowling alley, Seal Lumber, that area over there.
Yep. Mammoth
Mammoth
Road.
Road, really?
Really?
Huh.
What do they have there right now? Just schools, right? And then at that one intersection,
pizza
they
place
have
there
that
on the
little
corner.
community
Yeah.
store.
So they're staying to their main roads as
They
well.
want to stay on the, where all the traffic is, which of course makes sense.
It's already zoned,
Yeah,
right?
so we do the same thing with either North CBH or Southern CBH. We'd have the same kind of question, it's smaller.
Yeah.
So
Do we have a lot of available land on 102? That's
Available?
zone
Probably
commercial?
nothing
It's
now,
already
right?
gone, so nobody else is coming in.
Right.
We have fur and feathers up there, right?
You're pretty much landlocked.
They're
Yeah,
excellent, by the way.
the
I'm giving her a
lots.
plug.
yeah, so part
It's up
of
there.
BAE might be some commercial
Rock's
stuff,
good, yeah.
There
possibly.
was a daycare
But
up there,
that's
but I
it.
think that's gone.
Yeah, if he was gonna.
Oh, that gray building, yeah.
get rid of it.
Well, the front portion, he might do commercial if there's interest. So if we can go ahead and provide a reason to
Let's
do
talk
it,
about
he'll
a
do
restaurant
it.
there or something, right?
Yeah, Rick's
Yeah.
talking, Rick will make his own little community over there if we let him. He'll put a restaurant there or.
So the front section of buildings, if you look at the plans online, you'll see, there's,
I saw it. I
they're
did
flexible.
I did a walkthrough there, so I kind of thought he was talking about a bus stop at the end. and-
Correct, yeah, across from that.
Yeah. I actually thought that would be a really nice idea.
That'd be a great opportunity for us, but we had to give him a reason to do it, so.
Well, we've got 172 apartments.
So, but you're saying if somebody on the survey says build on 102, we really can't, is what
But
I'm
no,
hearing.
but with that feedback, we give it to Rick, and that might change, you know what, I'll try to do this, tell me what I should promote the build of.
But that's only one lot.
Yeah, but it could be,
It's a big
it could be 4 or 5 different little condos for businesses, that'd work fine.
But you
Put a
need
medical
the-
building in there or something, you know what I mean, the doctor's
Yeah,
office.
small doctor's office, that would work, yeah, all kinds of that,
You need the parking
correct.
to accommodate that. So that's generally where, so like if you look at Tuscan Village, right?
Oh my God, it's a disaster.
It's housing
Oh, it was a disaster.
and,
Trying to get in and
but
out
the,
of it.
the town, needed to put parking in order to get the restaurants to come in.
And it's not enough. It's not enough. We
Put a
went
hotel
through
there too, right? Is the hotel
They
under
did.
That
construction?
just started, I think, yeah. It's brutal over there right now. trying to get
Is
in
that
and
mixed
out of the
use?
parking lot.
Is that where they have
Yeah.
apartments
It is,
plus
yeah.
retail? That's
Yeah,
mixed use,
it's
right?
retail, it's,
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't
wicked
want that
cool,
to be
but
my
it's
backyard.
overflowing.
If you like roundabouts, it's the place to go.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that makes it worse. It makes it worse.
Oh, it's terrible, terrible design, but
Oh,
anyway.
it's
So
terrible.
back to
that.
Laura saying, stay on Route 3A. What's up on the commercial district? We could maybe 1 or 2 lots up there. Northern commercial, right? I'm just saying, if you want businesses, where are we
But
gonna,
we also have
There's some-
Litchfield Sand and Gravel, Rick has a plan to develop that whole area there behind the
that's
golf course.
industrial at the moment.
It could be changed if
I
we
know,
had to,
yeah, if he was up,
you know,
we'd have
and
to-
that's close enough to 3A to make sense, so.
He wants infrastructure, though. He doesn't have water or sewer.
But once
So you're saying
again,
they won't
if we, had from the town saying we'd like to have these more industrialized things up there or larger
I
economic,
thought he wanted apartments there, though.
that'd be his easiest option, but he's
That's all part,
he's
if you
open
look
to
at his
ideas.
plan,
Is he
he's got,
open
he's
to
got,
other stuff, though?
Yeah.
He's open to other things?
Oh, yeah. But it has to make sense to him. He's not gonna do it if he's gonna lose money on it.
Oh,
right.
no,
so.
exactly.
Well, he does have
But so that
commercial
could be a
in there, he
question
has
on
housing in
this.
there.
That could be a question on this.
Well, in a way, so if we can get broad strokes here, do you want development of some kind? We can then say that, you know, Rick, the town wants all this stuff. Here are our suggestions based on our research. What do you think? And see if we can get him or other developers to do the same thing.
If we are able to separate this so that people don't think that we're gonna put a strip mall on the part of Charles Bancroft Highway, that's still agriculture. Is there a way to say, like, Laura has taken out Charles Bancroft Highway? Is there a way to say the north end? Is there a way to say 102?
with the
Oh, yeah.
map, with the map.
You wanted,
Yep.
to- yeah, you wanna
With the
do
map.
that.
We could do the map and then suggest north of certain roads.
Right.
Like on my question, I have north of, I think Pinecrest, they cut the, Charles Bancroft in half. Like, you want north or you want south? Something like that.
Yeah, it all depends on how you split up the map.
Exactly. As long as you give proper directions.
Probably do it pretty easily.
Yeah. Although we have very few intersecting roads.
Because if people think
So-
that we're looking at only Charles Bancroft Highway, they might be complete no's on everything. But if they think that we're talking about other areas in town, you may get a lot better suggestions.
Absolutely. So in that case, we may have to go ahead and take a map we currently have and modify with what our options are actually gonna be.
I opened this map 3 times.
So.
But I think realistically, like, when you look at our map there where our zoning is, I mean, you're not gonna wanna intersperse commercial. I could be wrong. I think a majority of the folks would not want business mixed in with their residents.
Correct, but just so we can highlight and show this is what we're thinking right now.
Right, but if you look at our zoning map behind you, I mean, the opportunity for economic development is really the top and the bottom.
Still.
Still, so, you know, as far as just making people understand what we're doing, I don't think a good question would be, you know, do you want to see businesses go in the middle of Litchfield? It's not zoned for that, and I think that's gonna scare people and be like, what are you trying to put a business where my home is? I think realistically, our opportunities for economic development are the upper and the lower part of town. And there's some overlay district, you know, on Charles Bancroft Highway. So, I mean, I think we gotta be at least somewhat cognizant of what the town allows by right for zoning right now when we ask the questions too.
And 102 sounds like it's almost built out.
Right, I'm not as concerned because there's always redevelopment opportunities.
Yeah.
So, if I'm a business owner and I see whatever is on 102 that's in Litchfield, I could buy it and knock it down and redevelop it into something different.
Well, you have Bemisters over there, you have some land with Continental over there. They don't actually use that stuff all that much, so they might be amenable to selling that or redeveloping it.
Or redeveloping, because
Correct.
we don't wanna buy it, and we wanna make sure it's out there, we wanna get that information to, that we're not doing to
Right,
people
but
that
if we can
want
show
to-
interest, the town says this would be good for us, that might convince the owners to go ahead and part ways with said properties,
Yeah.
so,
And that's the thing, like, development never stops, even if we
correct,
go to the end of what we have for available land, you just get into redeveloping what we have.
Correct.
And what people want with
and
that.
making it more effective.
so let's see.
After Bemisters, there's a couple houses, right? There's two houses after, going
Well,
towards
there's the
Hudson.
taxidermist, right?
Yep.
It's a house and the taxidermist,
Then there's the dentist.
and the dentist, right?
And then you have a Tabernacle at that point in time, is that it?
Church,
So,
school,
and then-
You have
then
Tabernacle,
Hudson.
and then you clear out with our town, so.
church and school.
Is there
that's what-
land between the BAE and the mobile home park?
I think it backs up to that, from when we did our walk, I think it backs up to where the lobster pot and that is.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
think it kinda goes like this.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so the mobile home park's barely in town,
yeah.
because the Lobster Boat's actually not really, the back of it's not in town. That's Hudson.
And the one thing to remember is we do have.
Back in Lobster Boat, that's other future development, that's actually in Hudson.
To the left of it, because, yeah, cause straight behind it is BAE.
Well, sort of, so the cutout is, if you look at Rick's plan for
Yeah.
that development over there,
Yeah.
that back portion's all storage actually in Hudson.
Yeah, that's the
All
very
his
back.
storage where he's talking
Correct.
about
If you,
putting
if you go
boats
down the
and-
driveway and go all the way to the back, I think Diane's talking more about to the left, more to the left.
I'm talking about the front of it.
So,
But he's saying that that's
sorry, go ahead.
Hudson too. But that peaks, is that where so is that where the corner of that BAE lot would be? Cause I thought it was behind the BAE lot, which is Hudson.
It's behind Lobster.
That would,
Road.
that would go to like where, the back of Rocco's is, the back of,
Oh, way back there, yeah, that I have no idea.
that's Hudson.
That is definitely Hudson, but I'm saying, if you base it on where Rick's project is,
Yeah,
the small part of Rick's project in the corner that juts out is in Hudson. So that's where all his services are coming in
that's
from.
the back though, right? Like if you're looking at it. I'm
Back,
trying to
middle
remember the
area,
lot.
it's not really that, it's not the furthest off of, 102. It's kind of in the middle of the project,
Is it really?
yeah.
Huh.
He has a couple buildings that are further set back from 102 in there.
Yeah, he has to bring Hudson in for some
Yeah,
of the
that's the
decisions.
storage.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Correct.
but he.
Yeah,
There's no
Hudson has to
housing
go
going
with
there
the
at all.
I
plan.
walked, yeah, I walked it. That was
You walk through the stores and you go, that's
what.
what that is.
Alright, so that's in the very back left.
And that's all Hudson.
Okay, yeah, that I know, but that's not Lobster Boat.
That's where they're attaching in from, so.
Yeah, he's working with
Lobster
that.
Boat's
dealer.
in front.
This is the-
And then the
the
boat-
land.
The land's
behind
owned by the
lot.
same owner.
He was in the planning board allowing fire to enter that way, a fire truck to
Oh,
get in
right,
through
right,
that
you
way.
mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah, he did mention that.
So.
So one thing we have to remember is that lower southern part on the left where Wilson's is today
Yeah.
is commercial.
Right.
There just
right,
happens to be a farm on it right now,
Correct.
right? That is also zone commercial. What street, is that Gilchrist down? How far? I can't read this map for me. Is it Gilchrist down is commercial on that right side? I don't know. I don't know where it actually comes in.
Pinecrest come in the middle, you have
Page.
Cummings,
Here's
you have
Page.
Talent, and you have Page.
So it's
Page,
Page Road
Page.
down,
Yeah.
or
Page Road
on the
down.
riverside is already commercial. That's our southern commercial.
Yeah.
You're talking about, if they wanted
Okay,
to.
so somebody could come in and
So there is
buy up a couple of lots,
availability.
and knock
Yeah.
down the
But I don't know
houses
who
and.
owns the property, and that's another discussion. Yeah.
Well,
But they'll be the
there's two really
stakeholders.
big lots and then 3 or 4 smaller lots.
On the right or the left?
On the, if you're going from Hudson to Manchester, on the left-hand side, closer to the river.
Oh, here? These
Yep.
Slender ones, yeah.
Yep, see, there's a couple of really big ones.
There.
So that is commercial, just people think it's a farm. It is.
But it is.
And there's you know, it's like where Steve's house is and all of those houses along the left.
Oh, okay.
All that land behind them
Dana
is
and Ellen.
Big lot
other,
behind it.
Dana's the other side of the road.
Yeah, a single curb cut, we could access that and use that land.
If you own them all, right?
They talked about a casino there, right? Was that the casino?
No, it was gonna be a hotel and golf course behind Licks.
Oh, okay. I've walked back there. It seems like a lot of people, different people own that land back there.
I don't- There's been talk of putting more houses back there, I think, from somebody that owns a piece.
Mm. I remember that.
So I just want people to realize there is something if landowners want to, that's their call.
But we're at least gathering the information
Right.
that we can then give to people that wanna sell or buy.
But I feel better knowing there's land available.
Yeah, there's more land than I thought. I didn't realize all of this was commercial down here in the south end.
You'll probably run into some watershed issues being by the river there, but that's about it.
So if I recall, and I could be wrong, when the circumferential highway was gonna come in, the ramp would dump to that property, then we might have put a mall there before it went over the river, that was supposed to be, the exit ramp would be over here, right?
Gotcha.
And then they were gonna put, when you get off the ramp, there'd be a big mall or whatever.
So I thought the circumferential highway was gonna land in Hudson,
It was half.
where
and half,
where Lepine's brothers' driving range used to be, where all those houses are now on the right-hand side.
There's a over 55. There used to be,
Oh, right there?
yeah, before that. There
Right
used
before
to
the
be
road
driving
turns
lanes
off.
on the right.
Just past that hard corner.
Yeah.
But there used to be a driving range there.
Yep.
It's all houses now. When it died, the
Right.
guy put houses in.
So the zoning, if I recall, we did some changes not to allow big warehouses to come to Litchfield, so an Amazon situation didn't happen like Hudson, particularly for that area there, or the northern part as well. Right, so we should maybe,
Can we define a
we
big
should-
warehouse?
We did, but
we had
it's
a
probably square
warehouse,
footage
but
on it,
not
right?
a huge, 20 door, kind of thing. But we can look at the zoning ordinances to see what's there now.
Yeah.
Just so we can educate everybody here, right? What can go there? Can them all go there? I don't know. That's why I want to look.
and then we do have our
I would be
aquifer protection district
I'm
up the
just not
top.
sure where, up at the top?
I don't know
Oh,
if it's
they're
down
on
the
that,
bottom too, but I
spring,
know
yeah.
it's another layer up top at least. I'm assuming it may be down bottom.
Probably.
There's one there, you're right.
I mean, for a large warehouse facility like that, first of all, you need enough land. Second of all, they're not going in the south.
Yeah, we have to
We
go to the
don't
north.
let
The
They go
need to be
north,
closer to the
yeah,
highway.
the airport,
Yeah.
or, near a major, near the highway, but
But then you
the
run
south
into
is too, it's too
you still run
long.
into
We
the
could look
curb
it up.
cut problem though, which is just crazy.
So why don't we look
Darren
at
was
that
talking about
to see if it's
sharing that driveway with.
Yeah, we can check
all
that.
Litchfield or just,
I mean, they were gonna work it out, but it wasn't a big selling point.
Laura could probably find it pretty fast too, the
you
zoning
can just look
stuff
at
for that.
zoning and
And that
type
was
in.
state. I mean, we're
type in
definitely
warehouses,
picking
it'll
up
come
the
in.
state
Yeah.
there.
Right, because this is where that warehouse was gonna go.
We don't mind warehouses, but we just don't want what's happening in Hudson. All the trucks going up and
That's
down Route
Target,
3A, it'd be a tough thing. All right, so anybody want to look at Plastow just to see? I don't know,
Sure.
let me just see what it's a pretty small survey. It's
No,
very,
Plastow-
did you see Plastow economic
Plasto
development?
was big,
Yeah, it's a big one.
Let's just,
15 pages.
so was the other one was 7, right?
Is that
Do
on
you
the
live
portal?
here, was the
This one's-
question.
yeah,
This is your
It's got
demographics.
a lot of spacing though.
Yeah. Do you,
Circles.
so it's at your demographic information, of how long you've been here?
Yep.
Which part of town do you live in? Fine.
So they have,
Okay, they
they have
got
a nice
another
colored
map.
map,
Yeah,
which
this
is definitely a
the
good
one
idea.
with the
This is
pattern.
cute,
And
but
see,
you're
they-
limited to
they've got
one.
See
their
this? Let
map
me pull it up a little
split
bit.
up. I'd be surprised, I mean, that's not their zoning.
No, but
They've split it up that way for a reason, and I think we could do the same to ours.
it would totally make sense. Just, if we want to show them what we're talking about, just highlight a certain color and be done with it.
And it's very easy to understand.
Right. Let's see, what's next, yeah. There's a lot of, check the box kind of questions here.
And a couple open-ended. Oop, more. Do have to keep going, huh?
Oh, yeah, a ton of them.
Okay.
See, 16 pages is just too much work.
I think it's way too much work.
It is.
It's way too much to even go through.
But if there's, well, we can at least see if there's any
Even on
questions we
multiple
want to
choice,
take
we
out
too
of
much
it,
work.
you know, to
That's
add.
way too long.
But we can see if there's anything we
There's
want
a
to take
whole
out
map
of
Right,
it.
what can we
Correct.
steal, what can we steal out of it that makes sense?
Yeah.
Steal, leverage.
All right, I like it.
Oh, look at, that's why they had the
No.
colors. If you go down to,
Yeah, there's a question that's,
the
this map is
sevens.
7.
number 7, it's about the colors.
The yellow area, the orange
What would you
area,
like to see in
blue
blue?
area. That's actually
Where is it?
7.
7? There you go, yep. And. Okay, yeah.
It's funny, number 8, what can the town do to be more attractive to prospective business owners? It's almost like they're trying to sell themselves, right?
Move
Well,
further
we're like,
away
we're
from
great,
us.
come here.
Yeah,
Well, but that is what towns,
We do.
We should do.
towns do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we
Big
should.
towns absolutely do
Right,
that.
but they're like, what can we
Yeah,
do? We're
that's
so petty. What can we do to
economic
change? You know, we're not good enough. What can we do to change? We're like, we're
And then what do
great.
we do to keep them happy while they're here?
Right.
You know, that's another thing. I hate to watch. Day of the Dead's been our longest lasting
oh, unbelievable.
restaurant.
They got a
at
streak going.
Venice. I hate to watch them come in and come
Right.
out.
Yeah.
But, you know, from my personal perspective, I avoid Plastow like the plague. Like, I cannot stand the roads in
I don't
Plastow.
like Glasgow either.
If I can cut through one of the main roads and be done with it, I'll do it as fast as humanly possible. Like, the way they develop that town is just a nightmare.
Okay, I'm gonna sound naive, but I don't know where it is. I haven't been there. Where is it?
Plastow, they have like, what road is that? The Auto Mile area over there.
Are they close to, how far away are they from here?
They're right on the Mass border.
In Salem is to the.
Oh, down in that area, oh,
Yeah,
over there.
Merrimack, Mass, Newton, New Hampshire, Plastow, New Hampshire, they're all together over there.
And you don't like it because why?
It's if you think Bedford's busy during certain hours of the day, Plastow's that way almost all day long.
And the infrastructure is not nearly as
Correct.
good.
Their road widths are way thinner. It's just not
They have some
pleasant.
dirt roads with $1 million homes.
Yeah. It's an odd dynamic.
Odd.
Yeah.
But they also have a lot of really big things, you know, the Home Depots and all that kind of stuff too. They have really big businesses in town, so.
So we're just trying to see if they want economic development or not. If you
Right.
do, what kind do you want and where do you want it? Is that really?
Right.
if
And
we-
what are we limited by? And we know what we're limited by, and there's a lot of them. And they tie our hands every time we turn around and look. I don't know how we fix that.
But even if we're limited by things, if we still ask questions to the public to get feedback of what they want, we can then try to address these or solve problems,
Yeah?
right? If
Right,
we don't
but-
get any
See which
feedback,
problems we
we have no direction to go in.
And then,
I definitely think we need to find it. It's just, it's frustrating when you look at.
Most roadblocks can be overcome with time, effort, energy, so,
And money.
and money, yeah.
But we're so unique that we
but
have
the
everything
town
around
doesn't
us.
have anything, so we don't have any plan that is a town plan to approach the state or anyone else
Right.
on changing these things, and they're not gonna, you know, they need to hear from the governing body and
That
that
we've
they
done
have
this.
done their research.
Well, that's what
And
we're
then
here
we
to do,
could
right?
present a plan, for instance, for agritourism.
Whatever it is, whatever the town
Right,
wants.
whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, then you could present,
Correct, yeah, we can come up with a game plan, then go to the state with it if we have
then
to.
all of a sudden we could make a discussion for curb cuts,
Or you
Yep.
would
In
call up
1970.
DEA, you know, the
right?
DEA
1970
and
curb
for the
cuts.
state, and we say, okay, we need help. We've got our data of what, and they'll send someone down. I mean, they have people that they employ that just do this.
Yeah,
for-
we can show them the results of
I
our
couldn't-
surveys.
I don't understand why we couldn't have called them down when we were trying to help the gas station get a second curb cut. I mean, that gas station is still sitting out there on state problems, is that correct? Waiting for state permits?
I'm not sure where he
They're
stands.
understaffed, that's a
Had the
different,
first
different issue.
approval.
Yeah,
He had
that's
first approval from
DOT.
DOT, and he was waiting for the second approval. right?
Correct.
It was on, DOT's understaffed.
They're way understaffed,
They aged it out. COVID took a lot,
yeah.
so
You're waiting-
you still think they're about a year behind?
I was told like 36
Still think they're a year
weeks.
behind processing
How
the
much?
DOT permits.
36 weeks was when I was trying to
Oh.
look at a permit from DOT.
Under a year, it's
Like it's-
fantastic.
Oh, I'd be surprised if it was that.
Quick.
I do think he's, we saw him today.
Renee?
Renee?
He's
I don't wanna-
close.
I don't want
but-
to say that out loud, sorry.
Do we have when's our master plan due for, the town has a master plan, right? When was the last time a master?
2017?
2017?
Of,
Yeah, that's-
that are all over the place.
That's one of the comments, remember you said the town, so we do have a master plan from the planning board that gets public input, what do you call it, public hearing?
Mhm.
And then we have a conservation one, what's I'm saying. We all have these plans, but do we have an overall master plan?
I
is what I'm
think
saying.
that's what
Oh, that's our
no.
prediction to spend for the next 6 years.
But it's still all the
Spending.
projects.
But do we have a
No, it
strategic?
No,
doesn't
no.
have anything to do with economic development, it's what the town's gonna
That's
spend.
town request to go ahead and budget.
We should have a master plan.
Didn't
by
we
state
do that?
statute.
One, but I'm not sure
So
it's
you
the
have a bunch
same.
of different chapters written.
We
at
reviewed our
different-
chapters, correct.
The problem with that.
Of the master.
That's a
But
problem.
that was the master.
Update
But they're
plan.
individual,
different
sort of. They're all
chapters
broken
at
down by
different
different
times. Now they
reasons,
no
though.
longer
There was no master
align with
master
each
plan.
other.
Right, there's a 20-year swing.
So this is a chapter
Right.
in the master plan that still talks about the circumvental highway
This is one of the
coming.
oldest ones.
Right, but,
Right.
I mean, I think it would be a wise investment for the town to consider putting money towards getting a master plan done, because once you have a master plan, then it's gonna help direct the growth and the economic development and everything with the town, projects and capital improvements.
That's
Without
right.
a master plan, a good master plan, I think it puts the town at a disadvantage. And they're expensive. And, I mean, I'm one not to
Yeah.
want to spend a lot of money,
Like
but.
expensive, like what?
Can you go to, can you
40,000.
go to litchfieldnh.gov? Can you go to the planning board?
I'll do it right now.
Oh, you're driving it? I'm sorry, I thought you were. If you, because we did take an attempt, we did get 5 of them up to speed within the last few years. But this one is 20 years old.
Yes.
And that's when they put that model in of the north and south for commercial, which has held up well, but I'm not,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's good, but that's my opinion. So if you go into, if we go to the planning board itself, you can look at the master plan chapters, they're halfway through. We
Where
usually
will
have
we
a
get on
date on them. So if you go to
Our town hall?
departments, then planning, down lower, just keep going to planning.
Yep,
Okay.
And then if you go, once you're in planning,
thinking about it, there we go.
go like halfway down, you'll start seeing, we got our lovely zoning ordinance,
Master plan.
master plans keep going down.
So
See right there.
2017,
So look at the dates, one of them might be off, but we did update in the last 5 years, like 5 or 6 of these pieces, right? See the dates on them?
Yeah.
The
So
actual
but
resources,
the economic one
2002.
unfortunately is 2002.
20 years old. Things haven't changed at all.
But that was the highway, that was their last month, whoever did this decision years ago did a great job.
Right.
I think with keeping it the way they did, next to the
I agree.
airport and the 102.
So who did those updates, Kim?
The planning board does these with public hearing, and we bring people in from the public to help, like we do the workshops. So, so I said, yeah, we have a master plan. I know conservation has a plan. I don't know if recreation has a plan. So I don't even have insight into this plan unless I go look for it, right? Is that in sync with this? That's what I mean. We
But
need a
that's-
kind of an overall, that's what I
Let's
meant.
disjoint it.
That's what I'm saying. So you said you have a master plan. I'm like, yeah, we do, but.
It
So we need to
creates
just
silos
get
of
harmony,
different
right?
priorities.
We
Right,
need the
but-
cadence there.
Yeah, but if you have something from 2002 and you're doing something in 2017, if you're relying on the 2002, it's just,
Right,
Doesn't make
but
sense.
we talk about conservation a certain way, but you went into more detail on yours, so that's what I mean, we have to sync them up, right? We're working in kind of silos a little bit.
Right.
We all have the intention we want conservation, yes, you actually have a detailed plan on it. We worked with Jay recently, within like
Right.
the last year or two on that.
But here's what you don't know. You don't know that the economic plan that the town wants
Mhm.
coincides with the master plan or the conservation.
That's what I'm saying, I don't have insight into
Kim
that
and I
unless I
already know it
dig
doesn't.
for it. Yeah, so,
We
that's
don't
what I meant.
know.
That's what I said when I was saying the other day, we need a master plan, because, that's for strategy,
Okay,
right?
what Laura's saying sounds like it's almost a qualifier to have a comprehensive master plan.
we're supposed to
Right.
have a
Then make a
comprehensive.
pitch to these different funding sources that
Right.
you bring in. Kim, do you happen to know if other towns, do they have like a singular, like facilitated master plan that covers all those chapters? Or is that kind of fragmentation a common?
no, that's
This
unique
is
to
normal.
That's
Litchfield.
us? Okay.
Yeah, no, by statute, you're supposed to have a master plan and update it, I think like every 10 years, or recommend it to be updated, or certain chapters have to be updated.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be disjointed, it should be, because then it's not a master plan, it's just plans, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
And it depends who came in on the workshops.
Right.
And who showed up at public hearing.
And really how big you are depends on how much you should update it. The larger the community, the more that it needs to be updated because things are constantly happening,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So when I do go to these quarterly NRPC meetings, the smaller towns use NRPC to make these chapters. So a lot of towns still do it that way. I don't know what I don't know what Nashua did, or who would be another one, even Hudson's getting big at this point, but
Well, I think that was over $250,000.
that's, yeah, so, yeah.
For Nashua's?
Well, but you have the tax base for that.
Right,
We
Nashville's
don't-
slightly bigger than us, being the biggest city
we
in the
have
state.
People volunteering for free to doing these, right?
Yeah.
And look at the
Yep.
money that Manchester's put into their economic development. I mean, they came up with a whole department, the study that
They have a
they
great master
did.
plan in
I mean, they did
2021, I think.
huge.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they doing it or are they just falling apart? Because it's.
Well, they have a big
looking
plan
good
for the
from
whole
outside.
downtown area, right? I
Ah.
mean, to redo that whole thing, it's
Was it like,
gonna be impressive if it gets done
Okay. Were they
No,
gonna
it-
film us?
on the river.
We have a new mayor now.
So like the chapter one here for our master plan currently, vision, right? Everything on here just points to keep the character of the town. There's only one line saying direct change, promote development.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying these-
That's all there is. Everything else pretty much leave it
I
alone.
think these plans are
So,
wonderful.
for this committee, that's gonna definitely have to change this in some way, shape, or form.
but that was our first homework assignment, was to read 4 of
Correct.
these, right?
Yep, and that was great that we did, but now we have to go ahead and change the master plan after we have our town feedback.
Right.
So,
So continue the expansion of town resources to make them readily available throughout the town.
Read that again, I'm sorry.
number
Which
five.
number? Number 5?
number 5,
Continue expansion of town, what?
resources.
Resources to make them more readily available throughout the town.
Well, what is
And
resources?
what are those, by the
I'm not
way?
sure what
Right.
context that's being
I
in.
don't
know
even
what-
know what that sentence.
I don't know what resources we
Well,
have
I might
in
be
town.
talking about it above,
Are
I
they
don't
talking
know.
about fire, fire trucks? Are they talking about
Yeah, I would have to read the-
police,
Which one did you open up?
ambulance?
This is vision.
That's the vision.
This is chapter one. This is the general broad strokes.
Right, this is a goal.
Correct.
You know, and this is
It
what we
actually
talked about
says goal
before.
right
So
there.
in my mind, this is the lack of an actual goal. This is,
I like number one. Number
But
one
if,
makes
if
me
you
happy.
look at 4, preserve the true character of Litchfield while delicately balancing added business opportunity. So again, it goes back to what's the goal for the town?
right.
You know, what I think the goal for the town would probably go in line with number 4,
Right.
you know?
Right, but I think adding in some more detailed pointed emphasize, try to develop the southern commercial zone. Something like that, right? Have something in here saying, this is what we want to do in this area. That way, when you look back on it now,
Well-
you have a starting point.
We'd ask them if that's what they want to do, not what we want to
No,
do.
I'm saying, when we hear back from the town,
Right.
so we know what to add to this. Because right now, it's, we'll say, this is very broad strokes. It's next to useless,
But,
so.
so, I
Wants to
mean,
enhance a sense of community spirit.
the problem
That we do
is
pretty well.
I think we do that really well.
That we do pretty well.
You go to expressing the town's vision through a voting process and citizen interaction with the planning board. How many citizens have been in front of the planning board in the past year?
Not the year, but when we did the community, there's a community one in there. Can you open up those plans again?
Which one?
It was recent. We had about 6 people working with us actively on that plan. Which one is it? The
Community
last one,
facilities,
Community design, what's that one? Which one was in 20-something?
transportation,
No, what's the last one? What does it say?
Community design. it's
community design, that's
2019.
19,
What? Okay,
Nine.
2019.
19?
Yeah.
Can't be that old, is it? It could be.
The most modern one is
that old.
Transport's 2020 is the most modern one.
Which one is?
Transportation.
Well, we
is the
spent a
newest
lot
one.
of time with statistics from the state on that one.
Do you want to see that one?
No, I wanted to see, open up the community design
Damn
one.
lies.
Community design?
What number is that?
Statistics.
Chapter 9, the last one.
So that one
That's
tells a lot.
pretty.
It's the balance of the business and the agriculture. But if you look at that, it says what kind of homes you want. We read one of it. This was one we
Yes,
read,
yes,
right?
yep.
But I don't know if they remember.
So
because
we talked to
we live and
design
breathe that,
style,
right.
stay with New England. That totally makes sense. It's a
Just
great guide.
starting when we read these. So,
Right.
So putting
That's what
it,
I
I mean,
mean.
the
Yeah.
conversations that we're having, we keep going off point, but I think we're getting closer
We are.
to
See the type
real
of homes we
yeah.
like.
Yep.
Keep going. If you look at the pictures, they kind of just, and there was actually some vision here about the park.
There was, yep.
Talon Hall.
Yep.
Go a walkway down on Merrimack River, right?
Yep.
Looks like the townhomes made it in. That's right there. That's
We
the
mentioned
commercial
the
development.
downtown, we should
They
only have it
coffee
downtown.
Shops and small shops or small strip mall,
This actually references roads and all that stuff here on it too. So you have 102, Charles Bancroft.
So we're really rehashing some of what they went through, but although what was this done? 2019?
This is 19.
God, I'm feeling old. See that? Can you go back to those hand-drawn pictures?
Yep.
So that's the old town center, right? And then if you keep going, then they wanted the new town center. So that was more the pictures that you just went by. Yeah, that one's no longer there. Recreation was
There's
big.
the
They
River's
they
Edge thing.
envisioned walking down the Merrimack River, with picnic benches and gazebos and that kind of
We
thing.
still do.
And that was part of the economic as well,
We
as
still
recreation.
do. Yeah.
Now, that's the Old Town Center. I don't know what, oh, what was that? Can I see, what was the note above that? Oh, a River's Edge Park, right. So down in one area now to have a park where they could meet with the gazebo and all that.
Right.
That's page, there's the word gazebo, good.
Where is that?
I think that's
the
where you-
The
Musterfield.
Buster Center?
It's to the old fire station and everything.
See the library on the top left?
It's the Musterfield, Diane.
It might be.
Okay, yeah.
I don't
The
know,
land
I don't know, there's not
north
a
of
lot
it.
of land there, but it's right in that area.
That whole thing is
Yeah.
smush, though. Everything
Yeah, it's wicked wet back there.
going north
But that's
is,
the state protected wetlands back there.
I
You
don't
can't
know.
do anything back there.
That might have
Well,
been the
Charlie-
connection over to
Charlie
Merrimack.
does,
If-
has the fields back
So if you
there.
keep going further, and they had where they could do the parking, keep going down. So Dara Pond improvements, we were talking splash pad and all that, what's down further? I would-
That'd be
I
awesome.
know,
That'd be
but
so
not to
cool.
ruin the fields. Keep going right there. So is this Dara Pond?
This one is not labeled. Hold on.
I think it's Dara
Wait.
Pond. 'Cause we
Winter
had houses-
skating.
Yeah, that's the pond on the right.
Basketball, winter skating,
Yeah, what else is on the top?
Walking
learn about
trail.
wildlife kiosks.
Indoor, yes, this is Dara Pond, yep.
Yeah, keep everything you had, just was adding to it.
Yep.
What did they add that was new there? I'm trying to remember. I can't read it from here.
Parking, pavilions
High
there.
ropes, fenced.
I think it was the skating was the big
There's
one.
no fenced
Yeah.
play area there.
What's
it's not fenced, but there's a play.
There is a
area.
play area,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
But, they would-
High
but
ropes
but if you
and
read
low
if you
ropes.
read that right up under it or above it, it'll tell you what they were thinking then.
Walking trail.
What else have you?
Well,
is that
ideas
it?
generally,
Keep going
yeah.
down more. There was another
Course, it's still
skating
out
little
there. I
place
just
out
think it needs
here,
to be redone.
outside the town hall. Oh, we were gonna have a,
The road
like
is
back
They're-
here,
they're
you know the woods
fixing it up.
behind
It's-
us?
The high school's gonna use it
Just
this
let the
spring,
kids,
next
like an
school
old
year.
fire truck
I
or a police
think-
station or
yeah.
artwork, like people do artwork out there, like some statue just shows up. And just have it out here near the,
We just dreaming.
Skating rink.
We just.
Yeah,
the
so you ha-
skating
you
rink
have
right
where we
there
are
in the
now.
park, yeah. They did a good job.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, we had about 6, but it wasn't in the last year. And I'll give a plug, it was a historical society, and which is now the Heritage Commission, did a lot of work on that.
Yeah,
And I'm
we're
sure we had
still
other
missing
people,
A
but-
member from the Heritage Committee on this board.
It probably would be a good idea. Did we have a, we reached out, right?
Last year.
I know Marion's traveling.
We cover
around.
signage.
Woman, you can't
I
nail her fins to the floor. Gail has trouble driving.
Yeah, so anyway,
So do we
Call-
wanna look
call
at
Frank, he'd be good.
taking
Carlos, I thought helpful too, yeah.
Amherst
No, but he's on the Heritage. He would be a good
and
member for here.
incorporating
And he has
some-
he has
Maybe
actually a
reach
nice
out to him.
I can reach out to him.
Yeah.
yeah, Amherst design was pretty well. It's,
Not about
I
transportation.
think we should dumb down a lot of the options to make it a little faster. And then obviously gear things more towards us versus Amherst needs, since we're not in the
Right,
same,
Right.
same town size or anything else, so,
Yeah.
that's my opinion at least.
But it's
The
good to
Amherst
look at
one?
broad-
The Amherst one,
agree.
it's a good general layout, I think.
Yeah.
I agree.
The matter of just fine tuning it for our needs.
Except for that one question that kind of pointed them in a weird direction, but, and it had most of Laura's stuff in it, but we can also separate
Laura's stuff was
CBH
really good.
on that.
Maybe if we just, look it over and
Yeah, mark it up.
mark it up and figure out which ones
Okay.
options we'd get rid of or change or whatever.
So you wanna do
Because I
that?
bet you our NRPC still has it, and could make a copy.
Which is
and
why it would be so great
allow
to
us
have
mark
Jay.
it up and.
Yeah, it'd be really good to have Jay here next meeting.
Right, but if we pick the best from Amherst, from Jeremy's, and from Laura's, we can get maybe it's this big, and then we can say, no, it really needs to be this big.
Right. So you want to make that our homework to everyone, let's try to get, 15, 20 questions each, and they compile them at our next meeting, and that'll be our meeting? Do that?
Works,
We don't want 15, 20 questions.
No, I'm saying from each of us to have options, then we compile them
okay.
into one survey.
Okay,
Tell how many questions you want on the survey.
2.
I'm sure a lot of us will overlap, so
Right.
if we have more
I
options to
think
start
we're
off
gonna-
with, we'll have a better overall result.
Did you want to follow?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't think we want 30 questions on it. I think we want maybe 15 questions.
Absolutely, but I'm saying, if we don't bring a bunch with us, we'll end up working here the whole time and come up with new questions, so.
And we don't want,
If we can all bring a bunch with us.
we don't want 6 designs, right? We'll stick to
Right.
Amherst.
Yep. Yeah, that can be our general, our roadmap as far as style goes.
But let's get these into Amherst,
Agreed.
right? Get them
I
in.
think so.
Yeah, so we just need to, dumb
Yeah.
down, I think is the right thing, we want a small
Yes,
compartmentalized.
just a little quicker, a little easier.
Those people in Amherst are smarter than us in Litchfield, so.
And
Are they, or are they just bigger?
And then we can go back after we have our results and we've crunched those numbers, we can go ahead and then really finalize things survey-wise.
And you put your demographic questions in there, you know, we all.
Yeah,
have
we'll add those,
what
we
we're
can idea who's
trying to
coming back to us.
Metrics.
And
we
definitely
want.
make that,
You wanna put, who are you?
yes, make that a
That's what you're
requirement to
doing.
submit,
Yep.
so.
And I think just presentation is going to be very important, that it comes across very non-biased.
Right.
And especially with the wording of the questions and all that, because I think if you're taking it and you feel that it's skewed, or being asked in a certain way, then be like, forget it, you know, so they,
So,
Yep.
to that point, maybe we should just test it with a couple of residents who aren't involved in this at all, just to see
Yeah.
what their
Good idea.
reactions are
See how
to the
they feel.
questions, and say, is this neutral, does this make sense?
right?
Find
we
those
can-
people for me,
We
will
can
ya?
have a,
Well, so.
Somebody in Litchfield who doesn't have an opinion.
We can also do that ourselves, so once we come back next month and actually then build our survey, we all take it home and we all rewrite the same question in our best non-biased way to actually then we can submit. Hopefully something that's useful, right? Cause you know, all 6 or 7 of us working on this stuff together would be great.
I think I just got more there, though, from this meeting tonight. I think it helped me be more
Good.
there.
you know what we could do? We could do our own little like focus group, like have the survey done, give it to like 7 people here, have them take it in front of us, and be like, well, what did you think? Did you think we were biased? Do you think we're non-biased? Was there a question there that we wanted to see that we didn't? You know, and kind of tweak it from that point. too.
Absolutely.
that's a
Sounds
good
pretty
idea.
fancy.
Yeah, font and tone. Tone is important, right?
Yep.
Order is important.
Order is very important.
Absolutely.
I'm accumulating things.
Sorry. I'm not sure
Well, that sounds good to me.
I took your plastic.
No, that,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's first. But I have a feeling when I pick up
Oh,
paperwork,
what does it go?
becomes mine.
Thanks. Are we good? Do you have, anybody have any?
Well, probably open public up,
Oh, we
Open
never
what?
did
Open public?
community-
public,
comment?
so we can close public.
Oh, geez, I never opened public
Yeah.
comment.
They never came.
Never came.
Nobody's online, but we didn't invite anybody. Okay, I will officially open it up to public session. Hearing nothing, I will close public session. Thank you. All right, so A, B, and C. Oh, go ahead.
We have the minutes
They're shelled,
for
right?
the next one, right. So if people have changes, they need to bring them to the meeting.
Right. Yep, we said that. yeah.
Matt won't make changes.
Same here.
By committee members.
because I made changes, but then Matt responded back to some of my changes.
What do you say?
No.
Really?
He just kind of like said, well, this was said and this wasn't said and stuff like that.
Right.
He does
so-
go check, though. Checks for all the words.
He'll only fix like spelling mistakes and that kind of stuff himself.
Yeah, with all public minutes, they can't be changed
Without a vote. of the board.
unless
Right, it's in public. Yeah,
the the discussion of the change is in a public session and there's a vote on the change. So he'll make a change if it's a spelling
Right, just more
error or something
grammatical.
like that. But if there's content change, bring it to the next meeting.
Because then he'll go back and listen to the meeting.
We can-
Wants to see it in advance, hopefully he'll fix the email chain so we can just email it back to all of us, and we can look at it in advance of coming to the meeting.
Well, I think we have to do it in public anyway.
But we can look at it though, so then we can bring up the changes. So,
Yeah,
I
so
don't know what, yeah, yeah.
he generally does,
I don't want
but
to compound anything.
I already sent it to John to check on
Right.
Laura and Peter.
Good.
So just so for my changes for the minutes, just, because I had a decent amount of changes. So you want me to just print out the minutes of how I made the changes in the draft document?
Yeah, so that so that you can read them, like generally, you do it all the time. Page 5, paragraph
Okay.
3.
Yep. Okay.
I have changes as well.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
I think should be added, what I think is a punctuation, but yeah.
Kim's our great one for Board of
Yeah,
Minus 2 for
Selectmen
spelling.
minutes.
I don't care about.
Jeez.
He grades all minutes.
Getting out
She
your red
grades them
pencil.
all.
Yeah, really, did you get your
No,
red
but the
pen out
thing, you
when
know,
the
they,
minutes come
they,
out?
and Laura knows,
They
these
take
can be
those
used
red
in a court of law, right? I mean, that's why you want them right. Okay, so materials needed, develop the flyer maps, we can wait on that. Survey Monkey probably. Questions,
Yeah,
community
that doesn't-
conversations,
that
that can be later, right? Let's get the material first, so.
Yep.
All right, so,
Nobody has anything against Survey Monkey, right?
no, I think, I've used it for my own
They do a good job,
surveys
yeah.
and they work well. So next agenda items, we've already discussed, right? We will do the minutes, obviously, and the, go over the Amherst modified Litchfield. All right.
Talk to Jay in the morning and let everyone know
Oh, Jay, just double check
Meeting.
with Jay, availability.
about the meeting.
Does anybody else have anything else they want to discuss? All right, I'll entertain a motion if anybody would like to adjourn.
I'd like to adjourn.
Do I have a
Motion that we adjourn.
second? First, second, great. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great, we'll thank the public for joining.
Look at that, right on time.